Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we got a special guest.
He did another.
Special guest, Socrates Leal. What is good? Man, listen, people, if you don't know who Socrates is, let me tell you something.
Do your homework.
Do your homework. This man...
He's usually on the other side of the camera.
He's on the other side of the camera. Mm-hmm. This man is responsible for...
some of the greatest skate videos.
Greatest skate videos. I mean, I'm speechless. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for... I mean, Lovechild. I mean, all the world videos. We'll get into it, you know. Okay, cool. But, you know, thank you for being you and documenting all that stuff, bro. It's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Everything good?
I got my health. I mean, yeah, man.
Sick. Yeah.
I'll see when I see the doctor. I don't know.
Okay. You're the doctor.
See what the doctor says.
Okay.
But
Dr. Krabs here.
Yeah. You look good. You look good.
Cool, man. You guys do too, man.
Thank you,
hey,
bro.
Thanks.
Thank you. We try. So let's talk about Sock, man. You know, that's what we're here for. Born and raised until 3 years old, right, in Mexico.
Yeah.
What part of Mexico?
Sinaloa.
Where's that?
Sinaloa.
It's in Mexico. It's considered the north.
Okay.
It's like it's the next state. It's like the second state down. Like if you go down, you'll see Sonora, and it's the next one.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you came over here at 3 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Your family was already out here, and then how did that work?
Well, yeah, my aunt already lived here, and she had gotten married. She had originally moved up years ago to Nogales.
Okay.
And she was married there, but her husband died. And then she just had to peace out of there. So she went to LA, and that's where she met my uncle, who's from Guadalajara. And then they were already here for like over a decade. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it was like in Mexico, we're from a small town, like a little pueblo.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's a small town, like just a few hundred people back then. Now it's probably a lot more. But yeah, so back then when my parents split up, it was really like a really, really bad battle. Like the battle of the families type of thing.
Wow.
And so, yeah, her family was like, you got to go live with your sister. You can't be here.
Okay.
Oh, really?
And that's what brought us here.
Oh, wow. And then so you lived in Lancaster, did you say? What was it?
Close.
Close.
Oh, that's random.
No, the reason I say close is because when I tell people where I'm from and they don't know where it is, they're like, "What? Palmdale? Where's that?"
Oh,
And
Palmdale.
Palmdale happens to be next to Lancaster, but I thought it was funny you said Lancaster because people usually try to guess Palmdale.
Oh,
Because it sounds like where I'm from. I'm from Lawndale.
Lawndale.
Yeah.
Lawndale, Palmdale,
And
Lancaster.
Lancaster's right next to it.
See? There you
Right?
go.
Close.
So we're in the vicinity.
Yeah.
We're in the vicinity. Is that where did you start skating out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You were a fucking great skateboarder, bro. I see you guys some tricks, man. Come on, man. Did you ever try to go the sponsored route? Did you ever no, you just skated for fun and
See, what I always wanted to do, like when everyone's, gets together and goes skating and everybody's like, I want to get sponsored. I wanted to be the sponsor. Still haven't got there.
you
started your own company?
Yeah, I always dreamed of that. I used to
Okay.
just come up with ideas for names and the worst ones. That's why it never happened. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make a company.
Really?
I like the idea of like sponsoring kids. Like that's why when I was working for World the first couple years, I noticed that it was hard for them to like keep me on to just be a filmer. And so they would have me help out with like team manager stuff, just like shipping boxes or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I thought I could ship boxes. Then, I could probably pack a box for a kid.
Yeah.
And so I was out there, oh, this kid's good.
Oh, like scouting almost. Yeah.
I started trying to give boxes to James Craig.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
But then the story goes, he ran around saying that he was on blind. And then,
Oh,
and then
what?
Ronnie finds out. I was like, who's this that's on blind?
Right.
It worked to his advantage because he did end up on there.
He didn't end up. Yeah.
He ended up back on, yeah.
Right.
But I was just trying to float people. It was cool.
So before you even got on World, did you ever even pick up before you even started filming for World, did you pick up a camera? Were you already filming
Yeah.
as growing up and stuff?
Yeah. When I first picked up a camera, it was because when I was really young, my uncle used to go on trips to Mexico, and he'd come back with all these Super 8s of his trip. it was like, the dad thing to go
Yeah.
out and shoot everything.
Home videos.
Yeah, and we just play it on a white wall in the living room. Okay. And so he'd come in and set the whole thing up, and I was just like, sick. And then I would watch that. I'm like, but where's the camera? I want to see what camera it is. Never would let me.
What?
I was like, no, it's not a toy.
It's not. He didn't trust you.
Well, I mean, I was what?
It's an expensive
I was
thing.
like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I was
Right.
I was a kid, and so it's like, you don't lend an 8-year-old your
Video
tech
camera, yeah.
equipment,
Yeah.
and and it's expensive stuff.
Sure.
Right? Especially like film back then, you had to like develop it and all that. So you had to buy the film and then develop it.
It's a whole process.
Yeah,
And
it's
hope it
really
turned out well.
yeah, and it's like you could break it. That what Super 8 is like.
Sure.
So so that's when I first like, oh man, I want to do that. How sick! Like forget filming trips. Like you could film whatever you want.
Right.
And so that's what I wanted to do. And then one day I got lucky. I was on a paper route, and I was riding my bike, and I saw a garage sale, and I was like, what do they have here? And there was this camera that looked just like my uncle's camera, like really, really close to it. And I picked it up, and I'm like, yeah, I think it was like $10, $13 or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's yours. And I was like, all right.
Not a bad deal.
So I bought it, not knowing how to use it, not knowing anything about it. And so I just went and I think it was a Save-Ons, which ended up becoming something else.
CVS
Now they're
or
like
something.
CVS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they still had, and it was 888. They still had the film. 888 is like actually 16 millimeters. And what they do is you put it in one way, close it, shoot the whole roll, then in a dark area so you don't expose it, you flip it around, and then you expose the opposite side. And then when they develop it, they run it through a machine that splits it, and then they give you 2 reels.
Oh, wow.
Too real? Why?
Well, because it's 888. It's 2.
You just basically split the...
So they're giving you 2 of the same exact tapes?
one side, basically like the left side would shoot one image, and then when you flip it over, it shoots on the right side, and then you split it in half, and you have 2 different...
Seems tech for back then. I don't know.
Well, it's... Okay, so Super 8 is about this thin, right?
Okay, like...
And then 16 is this thick,
Double.
right?
Yeah.
So it's, that's why they called it 888, because it's 2 8s, it's 16. So anyways, so you shoot it on one side, and when you flip it over, now the other side is ready to shoot onto.
Oh, so you could shoot on both sides?
Yeah, you take it out and you flip it over, and then it shoots on the other side. And then you get it developed, and then they develop the whole thing all at once. But then when it's developed, they split it down
They
the
give
middle,
you
and they
the
give you
2.
reels.
Right. So you buy one tape, but one roll, but you're filming twice on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But you just have to put it in like a backpack or something. Like,
Yeah.
Just flip it around.
Yeah, because you can't let light hit it.
How'd you learn all that back then? I mean, was it Google?
Yellow
Google,
pages.
if it existed, would have been sick. Because I would have learned a lot more, like really quickly.
Sure.
I mean, I didn't know anything about splicing, about editing. I tried to shoot everything on camera. I tried to like do the editing in my head. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was hard. I was like, I wanted to make a movie.
Okay.
That's what it was about. Because when I saw his home movies, I was like, that's cool. You're shooting all your family and everything, but this is a movie camera. You can make a movie.
Like the home movies weren't, there's no continuity. It was like, hey, we're at the pool. Now we're in the mountains. Now we're over here.
I mean, it's not a movie.
Yeah. Just memories.
Yeah, it's memories. It's like you're just watching moving pictures of your family's photo album.
Sure. Yeah.
So I wanted it, as a movie camera to make a movie.
Right.
But I didn't know anyone, and my uncle was like the only father figure. We didn't, pieced out on my dad, so it was just living here without a dad. And so it's like, having a dad is really important. Dude. Like being a dad, now I know, like, so when the kids need something that they're going a certain way, you can guide them. You're like, oh, you like this?
Yeah.
Well, here's tons of this, and read up on this, and
Right.
and then now it could be lazy and be like, Google it.
That's what it's for, man. It's a great teacher. So you started making little movies, I assume? Trying.
Because nobody wanted to.
Yeah.
It was just me. And I was like writing a script and everything. I was like, okay, guys, we're going to do this. It was just me and my friends.
Okay. Yeah.
You
How
were-
old?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
How old were you?
13, you said, when you bought a camera?
12, I think.
And this was all from paper route money.
Actually, no, this was before the paper route because before delivering papers, I used to knock on doors and sell the subscriptions. I used to go up and go, hey, would you like to buy a subscription from me?
Little magazine subscriptions.
If I get enough orders, I go to Disneyland. That kind of thing.
Were you a good salesman?
No.
No.
Horrible. I think my first check was $1.50.
At least you're bringing in some income. Yeah.
I was 11 though. I was like,
I mean, the paper route, you bought more film.
yeah, when I had the paper out, that's a totally different story. They screw you on money on that one.
Okay.
You don't really need to go into details on how they screw your kids up. Then I ended up leaving that and went back to knocking on doors.
Okay.
For real.
The $1.20 sounded better than the paper route money.
Well, because with the paper route, you end up owing them.
Because you're buying the papers.
You had to buy the papers.
Oh.
You have to buy all the papers from them. They send you a bill. And be like, here, pay this because we sent you a month's supply
And then
of
you
papers.
have to collect the money from
You have to
everybody.
collect the money from the people who don't even want to answer the door.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Jeez.
It's a lot of work. And
It's
you
a
have to
great
go
scam.
back and people are like, there he is.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we'd only get
I left
back.
the money under the mat.
we'd
Here's
only
this
get-
11-year-old trying to get money from us.
I know. I
Yeah.
want my $2.
This doesn't have to be a part of the show, but that, I just wanted to
No, that's
explain
great.
it.
I love it. I love
I just
it.
want to explain how
Yeah.
they did. And I guess if you were on point, you'd make money. And I was never on
You're
point.
never
I'm
on
not a
point.
businessman. That's
Sure.
Again, that's why I'm not.
You're a filmmaker. You wanted to make movies, you know?
You're an artist.
So when did skating, like you made little home movies, excuse
No,
me.
home
You
movies.
tried.
I tried, so I failed that. So I just stuck to like my friends going, hey, film me, jump off this, you know. But we were doing BMX, or my friends were doing BMX. This is before skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, cool. And like, make this jump and then, you know, eat this banana, I'll make it disappear. Like, you know, one of those, like, because my friend was eating a banana, he was about to. And I was like,
Yeah.
hold on, don't finish that. I was like, why? Like, I can make it disappear. Like, how? And so, you know, the whole trick of like, just pause for a second.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then removing
Somebody
it.
come in and remove it, and then okay, now go. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
But when you watch it, it works.
It works.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
he peels the banana and goes, ha ha ha.
Should do that in the edit.
It's gone.
I know, right? So the BMX, so you're filming BMX, stuff like that. And then did you just start skating after a while?
With skating, I had always skated because in Southern California, at an early age, you either surf, skate, all of that is all together. And so, like, I remember first time I tried surfing was I was 12, and first time I tried skateboarding, I was 6.
Oh.
And actually, the very first time I tried standing up, because before that, everybody, you know, on your knees
Sure.
and like kicking. And so, first time I was like, no, I got to learn how to do it the right way. I got to do it the right way. I was 6, and so I was trying to do it, and I couldn't keep my balance. I was like, whoa, what the hell? You know, this got to be easier than this. And I fell, and I got up, and I noticed a couple cracks on the sidewalk that weren't there before. I was like, those weren't there. And then I get up, I still feel the ground a little moving. Like, what the hell? And I got
Earthquake?
home, and there was that very day it was an earthquake.
What?
So it wasn't you.
It wasn't me.
It's never you. It's always a board. It's an earthquake.
Right?
It's something else. Yeah. So then what happened though? I mean, how did you you ended up filming for World Industries. I mean, we're talking about like Daewon Song, Lovechild. I mean, was that the first video that you ever filmed?
I mean, you can get technical about it, and it was like one of the Mike Smith's Liberty videos. I think it was called Liberty Horror. And there was one clip, and it wasn't really a skate clip. It was more of a lifestyle clip. It was like
Banana disappearing? I've done this before, trust me.
That's sounding worse and worse every time I say it. I shouldn't have said that. The first clip, technically, was I was shooting the guys at a place called Transitions, and it was a little skate park that they made in an old auto body shop, and the ceiling was literally as high as this one, a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, and they had all these little ramps in there, and the ground was all crazy. And so these guys were both trying to hit the quarter pipe at the same time, but there are all these little pillars you have to go around, and so you kind of lose who's where.
Yeah.
And so these guys didn't see each other, and then went up to hit each other. They crashed. Shiloh and Daewon, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
And so what had happened is that at that point, when they were making that video, was at the same time when all the world AMs wanted to make a video or be in the video. I guess they heard they were making a video, and I'm talking about a world video, though.
It was like when they did Two World Industry Men.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, so these guys wanted to be in that. So they're, Sock, give me all the tapes, and my friend's going to put it all together. I didn't have all the equipment. And I was like, no, I could do it. Like, no, my friend's already got it already. Just give us we'll give them right back. And I was like, all right, cool. And
Goodbye
they
tapes.
did. I think all of them. So I gave them all the tapes, and they put all the footage on a tape and gave it to whoever over there, right? And they wanted them to watch it and go, yeah, dude, sick. We'll put it in the video, but they never did.
Oh.
But somebody there must have watched it because they took that bail. and they happen to put it in, like, I don't even know what part of the video, but it's in that video
Some
somewhere.
section or something.
One of the guys told me too when it came out. Sock, you got a clip in a video.
No way. Did they give you credit at least, or no? Not even a couple bucks.
Spike get all the credit?
Nah. Oh no, that one. Who made that? Spike made that too.
I don't know.
I think that might have been like Todd Congealier and Mike Smith,
Huh.
or maybe Spike made that. I don't know. I only saw that video once. But yeah, Shiloh was probably the one that came and told me. He was like, dude, you made it.
So you were friends with all these guys already? Shiloh, Daewon.
Daewon. Yeah, I mean, I became friends with all the guys too.
Yeah.
But it was Daewon that I was friends with before he even was sponsored.
Before he was a Z-boy?
When he was a Z-boy. So to backtrack, again, like I told you, I had been skating since I was 6, but that was like off and on.
Yeah.
Like we'd go put a plywood up against the wall and just do kick turns and pretend we're surfing. Like with skateboarding at first, it was always just a pretend surfing for me.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I was just pretending that I was surfing. I was just going out trying to slash and do all this. I would even lay down on it and try to
paddle.
pretend that I'm paddling. But it was a small board.
Out on asphalt.
I know.
But they were small boards and you couldn't really later on with bigger boards you could actually do that.
Yeah.
But then when you're a little kid you do that.
Yeah.
Then you get
do
into
everything.
bikes and then you get into whatever else.
Kind of doing what your friends are doing as well.
But it was around when I was 15 that my brother had seen some dude ollie. And before that, we had never thought it was possible. I used to just jump off the curb cuts and grab onto the board and just
early grab it.
Yeah.
grab it by both ends. Just
Yeah.
go boom.
Front tail.
And then that's what hooked us.
Okay.
We got to try that. We can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we got boards and we tried, and he's the one that got it first.
Older brother?
Younger. 3 years younger. Yeah.
Younger brother got it, man. Were you jealous?
I mean, no, I wasn't. I just knew that I could too.
Okay.
I was I mean, that's what it was. It was like, whoa, he did it.
It's possible.
You got it.
Yeah, I got it now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we skated together for a while. It was like that, and then right around '89 is when I met Daewon, and in '90 I got my first camera.
Oh.
And by that time I had started skating a lot more with that same group of friends, and all of them wanted to be on Skate TV.
Skate TV?
The
Skate Master tape.
Submit your tapes, whatever.
Submit your tapes, we'll play it.
Yeah.
What?
And I think the original was submit your tapes, we might play it, but we took it as a no, we're playing
You're
it.
playing, yeah. This is
All
like
you have to do is submit it, it's going to play.
This is an old Nickelodeon show, right?
Oh, no way.
Hosted by, what was the guy's name?
Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard and Skate Master Tate.
Master tape.
What?
So the guys were like, film me and send it in. And that's what, and when I got the video camera, it was the same thing. I was like, I'm going to get a video camera so I can make the movie finally.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was straight to filming all my friends.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wanted to do that too. I wanted to do both. I wanted to make a movie and also film my friend skate.
Did you get on the show?
No, but that's what started it all. We would just go out and film every day. We just go out and film. And really shortly after I even started filming these guys, that's when Daewon got sponsored.
Wait, how did you even meet Daewon, though?
It was just common friends, I think.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know? When there's not that many skaters, back in the late 80s, it's like if you knew a friend who skated, he knew a friend who skated, and eventually you'd end up meeting the third friend who was Daewon.
Not a bad third friend to have.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is in LA or is it still in Lawndale?
Well, Lawndale's really close to where Daewon grew up, which is Gardena.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's and he was friends with people in Inglewood and, all over the place.
So you met Daewon by association with other friends? Just kind of like, hey, this is my other buddy.
Well, the first day I actually met him, it was at this church that had ramps in the parking lot.
Oh.
And at that time, I had a club at a high school because when I first started going to high school, there was a surf club, but I wasn't really a surfer. I was I'd just go out whenever I could, and I sucked at it, so I just skated. But so I wanted to start a skate club because they didn't have one.
Oh.
And so my senior year, I started one, figured out how to do it. I went through the whole this, that, and the other, filled this out, get teachers to sign off of it and all that, and then have a sizable group because without that, they say, no, we have 2 dudes, you can't start a club.
Yeah.
So we did start a club, and I guess because of that, people knew who I was.
Oh, wow.
Because I was
you were the leader.
Yeah, I started the 360 Club.
You were that's what you came up with, the 360 Club. Okay, not bad.
You could have called it 9 Club.
I know.
That's awesome.
So you were the president of the 360 Club.
They call it that, but I was like, it was lame to be called the president of a club. But no, like so some of the dudes from the club were like, you got to go skate these ramps. And so we went and skated the ramps that were in the parking lot of this church, and he showed up and was like launching like Hasoi.
Just Daewon Song.
Yeah, launch ramp.
Who
days.
is this dude?
Launching like Hasoi. Like I just look a little mini Hasoi, just with style and everything and speed, and you could just tell this dude was
Going somewhere.
yeah.
Next level, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like he's next level. But that's when I met him. I was like, dude, you're good. And he's like, no, you're good too. He's like, so they want to just like, forget me, you're good.
Yeah.
That's a total day one response right
Seriously. So then you guys became friends.
Yeah, then shortly after that, it was like, we'd go skating, go, hey, there's that dude again.
Okay.
And then little by little, we just all ended up skating together. And it all happened fast. I mean, that was 89. And in 90, I got my camera, and then we started filming. And at first, it was just Daewon and like a guy named Milton, my friend Steve, who ended up doing all the graffiti in the World Park later.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Sick.
wow.
And just a group of friends that we'd just go down to like TJ and skate the TJ skate park, the tits.
there. Yeah.
And like little run that Doug Smith, I think.
Doug Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were psyched on that video, like, oh, we got to go hit that park.
Really?
Yeah, we do that kind of stuff. And then when he got sponsored, when he got sponsored, that's when he started skating with like Shiloh and Daniel and all these other
The
dudes.
rest of the world guys.
And so then one day I'm filming him at San Pedro High, and Shiloh comes up to me and he's all right, get this, film this.
Like just bossing you around.
And I don't know him and never met him. And he's just like, yeah, like that.
Did you even know who he was? Did you know he was on World?
No,
or
I didn't know anything about him. He's just skating with them.
Okay.
And then he's telling me to film him.
That's amazing.
And so I was looking at him, I was like, what do you mean?
You're like, I came here to shoot day one.
I didn't say that. He's just like, well, you're filming Daewon, so aren't you the world filmer? And I was like, no, I'm just here filming Daewon. He's like, for nothing? I was like, well, no, just to film.
Yeah.
'Cause that's all I did.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh, well, do you mind filming me too? And I was like, yeah, of course. He's like, oh, okay, cool. So we just filmed, and then that led to filming Daniel and then Kareem. And so we'd go out and film like every weekend.
Literally, you're talking about filming these guys like in 90, 91, right? I mean, Lovechild came out in 92.
Yeah, well, we filmed in 91 when they were all AMs.
Okay.
And that's when the story of my clip getting into Liberty Horror is because we'd film, and then they gathered the footage, put it on a tape, and wanted to show it to them to put it in the video. Got denied for whatever reason. And so, yeah, that's what the story with that was. Like, we just filmed, and they didn't do anything with it.
Wow.
So those tapes are still kind of unseen.
Floating
Wow.
somewhere.
What?
Yeah.
Huh. Crazy. Do you remember what trick Shiloh wanted to shoot at the school?
It was weird. We were skating the steps, but they were very long steps, and they were using it like a manual pad. They were just going off of one end and just manualing across. It was some kind of manual trick. I think he just wanted to manual across it.
Okay.
I mean, it's 91.
Sure.
To manual across something this narrow.
Yeah,
I
about
think
a
on the
foot and a half.
second step too. So
Yeah.
And then what was the point where you got hired? Because obviously you're filming these guys. Unbeknownst to you, they're probably filming for the world video, but Lovechild, right? Or is that not even a discussion yet?
no,
You're
not
just,
yet.
No.
In 91, it's the video he's talking about. They put together a video called Two World Industries Men, and it was
Dune and Randy Colvin.
Yeah.
Dune and Randy Colvin.
Yeah.
And so they just decided to make a video because I guess those are the only two dudes that had the footage, maybe.
Okay.
But they just wanted to make a promo with just those two dudes.
Gotcha.
And so, anyways, yeah, that was 91. And towards the end of 91, I think it might have been Shiloh or one of those two dudes, it was Shiloh or Kareem, that were like, oh, dude, you got to meet Rodney. I'm sure if you meet Rodney, it's like, you'll probably just like hire you or something. And I was like, yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
I had always heard from dudes that I knew that were filmers, that I looked up to, like Dave Sloshbach, and like, watch out with World. Like, yeah, just be careful with the footage and all that.
Okay.
But I mean, we're talking about a grown-up man who like every second of footage is money.
Yeah.
Sure.
And for me, footage is like, dude, you could use it for free.
You're just a
Yeah.
kid. You
I'm
want to.
just a kid.
Yeah.
So I didn't look at it from the same point of view, but I just remember being like warned, like, watch out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that hit me in the head. I was like,
Like you should be paid for what you're doing. That's what
Right.
they're telling you essentially.
yeah, but also watch out. Like, as in, you give them footage and they'll just use it,
They'll use it. Yeah.
not pay you.
Right.
That's
That
what
still
I
goes
got
on
from-
today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
I mean, that happened to me photo-wise with Thrasher.
I'm sure every filmer, photographer, everybody's gone through that, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, oh yeah, we'll just run it.
But yeah, so Shiloh went. Okay, it was one of those guys.
Okay,
it was Shiloh or Kareem, and talked to Rodney, and Rodney was like, "Oh, cool. Then yeah, I'll sit down with him and I'll interview him."
Okay.
And so he did, and I went in late '91 and sat with him, and he was cool. He's always cool.
Yeah.
And he says, well, right now we don't have anything for you to do. And he's like, but coming up, we're planning a trip in April. And maybe you can go on that trip and film if you're down to do that. I was like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he showed me all the original, like, we were in the video room. He showed me all the machines that they had used to edit on all these big VTRs.
Wow.
And he's like, do you know how to use these? And I was like, yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Lying through your
Sorry,
teeth.
Rodney.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. But I mean, in a way, yeah. Because
Put the tape in, hit play.
I paused before answering because before actually full on flat out lying, I wanted to have a little truth to it. So I looked at the machines and I was like, play, record, this, that, and the other. I looked at the whole thing. I was like, yeah. Basically, I can.
Like, I got this.
I got this would have been a better answer, but I just said yeah.
Okay.
Which is more of a lie. I got this, or I could do this. But I just, in my head, like, I could do this would be more of a, yeah, well, we need a guy who can.
Sure.
A guy who could. So I was like, yeah, I can.
And you wanted to go on this trip. You wanted to film these guys. Like, you wanted in.
I was looking at it like that. I was
Right.
like, damn, I can go on a trip with these dudes.
Where was the trip?
That one was the trip across the U.S.
Wow.
that they called Hell Tour 4. They had the T-shirts for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Sick.
it was all AMs, and that footage ended up in Lovechild at the end. You see them all
Fucking around at the beach and
looking
jumping
at
in
the
the pool.
In the
and-
pool, right.
with
In
Jed
the
in
hotel,
there.
yeah.
When you went on this tour, were you just documenting, were you just filming everything? Did they tell you to do that? Or were you just doing it just because that's what you wanted to do?
Well, both, a little of both, because I did just document everything all the time. I just kept filming.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Rocco at the beginning of the trip was like, yeah, make sure you film everything.
Oh, wow.
Everything, whatever these guys are doing.
Because all that stuff in the credits of Lovechild, like you said, like them in
Amazing.
the pool at Disneyland, like the whole thing, like just brought this feeling to the team, brought this feeling to the video.
Yeah.
Like, of like, dude, these guys are just like chilling
maniac
together. And like, there's little Daniel. And it was amazing.
That was his idea, yeah.
It was amazing. But you filmed it.
That was the trip that Rodney was talking about when he first interviewed me in 91, yeah. Wow. But he didn't call me until February of 92. Now, the reason I actually started working for them was because he was filming for Plan B's Questionable.
Oh, wow.
And he would have to go down to San Diego to film. Or sometimes the guys would come up and film him, but rarely.
Okay.
And he was always busy at work, working at World.
Sure.
And so it was hard for him to he's got all this work to do and he's got all this personal life to handle and he's too much. So he needed somebody that he could just go, hey, let's go film. And boom, I'm there. That's what he needed. Mm-hmm. So he called me up and was like, can you do this? And I was like, well, right now I have a job. I was at a factory. And so I had to go in at 8 and get out at 5 and then come home, eat something really quick. And he would show up and pick me up. We'd go out. He'd talk a lot about what he's doing and then figure out where he's going. We'd get to a place and start filming, and I probably wouldn't get back until 3 or 4 in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
Now, we're not talking like lights and generators.
No, it's just a little high-8 camera that I borrowed from a friend of mine.
So wherever you went, there had to have been
Street light.
like street lights and lights.
Mm-hmm. We had
So
to
he
find
would
a place.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, we didn't have lights. I didn't have lights.
Right.
Still don't.
No.
Were you the only filmer around LA at that time? I mean, a majority of the people were filming with you, it sounded like.
I think I was probably the only one in that area because, you see, World was in Torrance, not L.A. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure there was a lot of filmers in L.A., but in our area, he needs somebody right there.
Seems like back then, too, it was kind of like all the filmers, that came out of each area was there just because they were the filmer in that area.
Exactly.
It wasn't like
Yeah, filmers back then weren't like they are now. Like every group of kids, there's a kid with a backpack. There's
Right.
the filmer.
Yeah.
Watch a group of kids skating down the street in LA or anywhere. There's like 3 or 4 dudes. Watch the dude with the backpack. He's got
all the
everything in
shit.
there.
Right.
He's-
Rob him.
Yeah.
Jesus, Raj.
Jeez.
Wow.
So Rodney calls me, and he wanted me to film. And for a while we were doing that, but it was taxing. It was like hard for me to go home and sleep at 4 a.m, wake up at 7 a.m. to get up and go
Do
to
a factory
work, come
job,
back. And so I was like, I could quit the factory job, but then I'm not making that much money in filming.
Right.
I haven't made money yet. I didn't know how I was going to get paid even.
Yeah.
I was just filming him. I mean, I knew he was going to pay me eventually, but I just didn't know how.
Sure.
And so I needed the money from the factory. And I told him that, and he goes, well, let me talk to Steve because we do the same thing at work. You know, we have screen print because the factory I worked at was a screen print factory.
Oh.
Oh.
I started out as the graphic artist because, see, one other crazy, I don't know if it's important, but I went through school and I did art classes all through high school. And then I screwed up in all my regular general eds. So I had to make up credit by going to like some occupational center. It's like a trade tech type place. It's called Scroc. And so I learned graphic art there too.
Okay.
So right out of high school, I got a job right away doing screen print art. So all the art that you'd see printed on a T-shirt. And so I did that for a while. And then on this one company, I got demoted just because I was always late. And I was
Filming
always...
Rodney all night.
But it was before Rodney.
Okay.
So yeah, I was... And just for whatever reason, I ended up getting demoted. So I ended up screen tech. So I worked in the factory preparing the screens. By the time I
Like
met
burning them and all
Rodney...
that.
Yeah, I would have to do all that. I would have to make the screens like out of wood, stretch the
Gotcha.
screens, put the emulsion on, dry them,
Burn
it, wash them, prepare them, and then the dudes would print. So that was my job, was screen tech. And so Rodney says, we do all that. We have that all here. Maybe you could just work in the daytime and I could just pull you out like, hey, let's go film this. I got this idea. And then you can come back and finish work, you know, or that kind of stuff.
Sure. Okay.
You know, just be accessible because I'm already there.
yeah.
So I was like, I'm down, you know, pay me the same amount as here. And
Printing Bob shirts.
yeah, I would have been printing Bob shirts. But Rocco had another plan. So we went with, it was me and Daewon, Rodney and Rocco, and went to the Galleria and ate at the California Pizza Kitchen and just sat down and talked.
CPK.
It's a good one.
And
Yeah.
so we went there, and then Rocco was like, okay, how would you feel about just writing down your hours and film these guys, and not just Daewon, not just Rodney, like film Daewon and all these guys in the daytime, and then Rodney at night, and whoever in the weekend, and just write down the hours, and we'll pay you, how's $10 an hour? And I was getting 7 at the factory. I was like, yeah. And, you know, $10 an hour is a lot back then.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
20-year-old.
20-year-old. Okay.
So then that's what started it all.
Wow.
I still have the little notepad, the very first notepad of writing down my hours. I should have brought that.
You should have. Would you like, you know,
Fudging them.
fudge them a little bit? Like, when is No, you were straight up. I filmed with Daewon from 4 to 6. Okay.
But I mean, we're talking about people who know skateboarding and know, you know, I can't fool Rodney. Rodney's like, yeah, you guys didn't film for 8 hours.
Right. But you could have driven around for 4 hours.
Yeah, but I didn't charge for the driving around. I would just go,
Just from the time you pulled your camera out to the time you put it away.
when we show up at a spot, I'd be like, we got here at 3.
Okay.
And then when we left the spot, that's 5, 2
Wow.
hours. And I would write down all the dudes that I filmed. Like we went to Santa Monica Blocks, whatever, or Santa Monica Manual Pad, and these guys were here 2-3 hours.
Wow.
And then I'd highlight it with the hours. I would just highlight it, and then later on at the end of the 2 weeks, I would just add it all up and just be like 2, 3, 1, 1.5, 3, 4.
And then submit your little invoice.
Yeah, I would just submit the hours, and then this guy Michael was the accountant, and he would just give me a check right there.
There you go.
And that's what I did.
Better than the screen printing house.
Yeah, and I got to skate with all these guys. Like I got to actually skate, and then when the guys were like, "All right, I'm ready," and then I just put the
Clock
skateboard
in.
down and start filming.
This was the footage going to be used for Lovechild.
That's when the footage for Lovechild started. My part of it,
Right.
yeah, because there were tapes already ahead of me. There was this guy that they hired named Mark Eaton, who used to run around filming lines on rollerblades.
No way.
I remember hearing something about this.
What?
Yeah, but he wasn't a skater.
He was a rollerblader.
He was a BMXer.
And he would film lines wearing rollerblades.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
What?
Would he be filming day one on rollerblades?
I don't know.
Who was he filming on rollerblades? It's incredible.
From what I can remember, because I was in charge of also, because remember, I know how to use those machines.
Yeah.
Sure. And then one day Jake Rosenberg was like, he definitely called me on it.
Okay.
He's like, okay, well then, let me actually show you how to use these machines. So he showed me how to like do the transfer, because I was in charge of doing the transfer. And he's like, do you actually know how to use these? He's like, yeah, sure. You know,
Jake was a kid back then too.
I don't know how much older he is than me. I think he might be just 2 years older than me. Yeah, so he was a kid too.
But he already had his shit down.
Dude, he was already like pro.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm like learning from him. So yeah, once it was quick though. I mean, it was as easy as it was as easy as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
You know? But it's just I didn't want to screw up.
Yeah, so you had a little teacher. You had some, or just showing you the ropes, which
Well, he showed
which
me,
is
like,
great.
Yeah, like in 5 minutes, he was like, "This is it," and I was like, "All right, cool." I did my first one. I was like, "Thanks."
Yeah.
Cool. Because I wasn't going to edit. I was just going to transfer the footage from high 8 to these big tapes called Pneumatic SP, which is, they call them 3/4 tapes.
3/4, yeah.
Yeah. Those were the master tapes
Right.
that these guys would pop in and watch all day long.
So you got your little high 8 tape. That's essentially like the master. You put that away, transferred over to this bigger tape.
Which ended up being what they edit off of.
I'm really interested in, here you guys are filming for Lovechild. When did the world part pop up?
Around 93.
Around 93-ish?
It was already there.
It was already there.
By the time I started working for them, it was already there. I just didn't have access yet.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
These guys had already talked about it, and I was like, I want to go there. But I remember it was already there.
Was that the only trip you went on, by the way?
Yeah,
Did they do a bunch of tours for that video?
Oh, for that video?
Yeah,
That's
for
the only
Lovechild.
one I remember.
That's the only one. Okay. Huh. And then it was basically just skating around LA.
There was also Aaron Meza tapes. Again, that's where I was going at with the transferring of the footage. We were talking about Mark Eaton, and you said who he filmed on rollerblades. Well, that's because when I started doing the transfers, that's another part of my job, when there wasn't any like skating to do, and these guys are still not up yet or whatever. And so I'd be in the skate park. There were these machines set up in one of the rooms.
Okay.
And that's when I had access to the
that's
skate
when
park.
okay.
Because they
gotcha.
needed me to do the transfers. So,
And there was no graffiti at the World Park
Not
this
yet.
time. Yeah.
No.
Clean.
The reason why there was graffiti was totally different. It's all a different story. But okay, so
I like the graffiti World Park.
But before that, it was just a tagger park. That's why they needed graffiti, because the owners were going to come in and see all this tagging everywhere.
Yeah.
At least the graffiti looked like art. And there's like we're filming videos.
Okay.
And we
So there was like a purpose
It's
behind.
a mural, yeah.
Interesting. I just thought it was just homies coming in and doing pieces.
No, we hired them. We had to pay them. Yeah.
Huh. It looked
bought
great
them.
on footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. And we bought them the paints and everything. I had to go buy the paints. But yeah, before all that.
Yeah.
So I'm transferring tapes and I could see the footage, and he filmed really good. This Mark Eaton dude, he filmed really good. They called him T-Dog. That's just what they called him. Like,
Which wasn't a compliment.
I didn't know that. I just thought that was his name. They're like, T-Dog.
That's gnarly.
They're like, T-Dog, get this. And he didn't know any better. He's just smiling, filming them. Okay, I'm T-Dog.
On rollerblades.
But yeah, he was filming Shiloh up in San Francisco. Shiloh went up to San Francisco on a trip to film at EMB with this dude. And
Okay.
Jed.
Oh, you Jed Walters.
And I forgot who else, but I just know that those two were on the tapes because they were the dudes that I had to transfer, and Chico. Because we're working on the world video, so and Spencer.
Yeah.
And this was before Carl Watson, so it was and before Mike York, but they were on the tapes.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were hilarious. But yeah, so that dude was the filmer before me, but he was short-lived. And so when I started working there still wasn't anybody. That was just the other dude that left a few tapes.
Gotcha.
That and then Aaron Meza tapes.
Aaron Meza, right.
And there might have been a couple of Jake Rosenberg tapes. I just don't know,
Yeah, because he was in the mix too. Yeah.
But he was mostly filming Plan B.
Right.
Yeah. Was Tim Dowling around back then?
Yeah, Tim Dowling but he was a skater. This is before he was filming. I don't remember him filming yet. He just hung out with like the whole Tim Gavin, Matt Schnur, and Guy Mariano hanging out in the valley type of crew. That was
and because Tim Dowling was really good at skating.
Really good.
You know,
He
he
was
was trying to do the whole sponsor thing.
No, he
for
was, I
sure.
think.
Yeah.
Who did he ride for?
I think he was sponsored by somebody. I can't remember, though.
I thought it was Sims.
You know what? You might be right.
I thought it was Sims that he was on. Super good. He was really good.
Yeah. I think he really wanted to get on, like, World Camp.
Probably. I
Yeah.
don't know about that one. I just know he hung out with these guys a lot. And then, so then, I don't remember when it was, but at some point, I guess when I wasn't around the blind dudes,
He would film them.
He would film them.
Right.
So that's when his tapes started coming in. But at the very beginning, it was just my tapes, Mesa's, and that dude Mark Eaton's.
The T-Dog.
T-Dog. So yeah, and then also Chris Brana's dad, I think, might have sent in a tape.
Okay. Dad cam footage.
I'm guessing it was because it was dad cam style. It was full on filming a line, standing there. Like he's doing a line of like flat ground tricks, and you could see him coming this way, and you just see him going. Not even following, none of that. Not even trying to get like an angle.
Funny.
No background coolness. No, just standing there full wide. He's this small at the beginning. He just does it. And
It's incredible. when you're filming all this stuff, you know, you're filming, I mean, legends, Daewon, Shiloh, Daniel Castillo, World Park. Did you have any, like, did you know that it was going to be what it is today?
Yeah.
Like this history, this monumental kind of moment in skating? No. Just doing your thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me at that time, the big videos were we were just coming out of the big videos being, well, this was right after Powell started like dropping off and you know what I mean? Like it was right at that time.
Okay.
Powell was big.
Yeah.
I mean, they made these big productions.
This is right when Rocco kind of declared war.
This is right around that time.
Yeah.
And also, it was a change in time because it was also a time when other videos were coming in that weren't those big productions, like the New Deal promo and like 8th Street videos. And all those videos were coming in. They were just skate videos. They would just go out, film it.
Homie cam style.
And it was like put in all the cool, crazy stuff that happens out on the streets and, you know what I mean? Personality shots. But it was mostly just skating.
Right.
To like some music. And it was what we wanted.
Yeah.
It's what we wanted to see and it's what we wanted to make.
But, I mean, you're witnessing, you know, insane skating going down as well.
Again, I didn't look at it that way when I was filming it because there was no reference to it. There was no, you know how nowadays you call things NBDs?
Sure.
It was just skating.
Yeah.
It wasn't an NBD. It was because that's just what skating was. Yeah, when you went out to film, you didn't go out to film something that had already been done. You went out to film something new because it was at a time when these things weren't yet invented.
Yep.
So there was so much left. There was so much room for making. Like you're thinking about late 80s to early 90s was a time when we're transitioning from launch ramps and bonelesses into actually doing
And also like
flip
shape
tricks.
boards into like popsicle sticks.
That time.
Yeah.
Wow.
When you actually started having a nose is when you actually started having nollies.
Nollies, yeah.
And like doing nollie flips and stuff and all that. Like hard flips were
But that's what I'm saying. You've seen Daewon do like the first hard flip. You know what I mean? Like
you film
over a little gap.
yeah, the first documented.
The first, right. I shouldn't say the first.
Dan Gallagher, we got you.
There you go. But still, it's amazing stuff, you know?
Were you in awe when they did the tricks? Or you're just like, cool.
That, yeah. I mean, I
Well, that's
wasn't.
what I'm saying. You're witnessing just insane, like, I mean, I can't even imagine
Yeah.
some of the shit you saw.
It was hard for me not to be vocal about it. I was trying not to. I'm filming and I don't want to burn the footage by just going, oh! But I would. Watch any of the footages or any of the videos, you could hear my voice in the background. And I don't know why, but I was really into saying fresh. Fresh. And I'd just be like, fresh.
I think Trineski used to say that too.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
Even in the Plan B, you could hear him talking.
Yeah, because like it'd be an 8th Street video. He's like, you know, SF with the Carroll brothers, fresh.
Man. And then go ahead, Raj.
I was just saying, you said that you would transfer all the footage to a tape, and these guys would sometimes watch it. With would like Daewon or like Shiloh or those guys see tricks that are coming in from SF or whatever? Would that fire them up to like do harder shit and push it?
Yeah, dude, that's good. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So I'd have the transfer tapes. I was supposed to have them locked up.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'd forget to lock it up, and they'd come into the cabin and pull it out and start watching it. And again, these machines, they weren't like super tech. You know, you can just pop it and hit play.
Yeah.
A couple of times they'd accidentally record over it.
Oh, no
I just
way.
have to go back and
Remaster it.
you know, just put it back later.
Yeah.
I'll be like, what footage was that?
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? Like we just erased something. But I could always
Maybe
rely,
a trick that they didn't want
Yeah,
out
they're
there,
like,
huh? Hey.
But I could always rely on the guys
Sabotage.
Right.
because they knew those tapes better than me.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, that was this trick, that was erased over.
They would get hyped off watching other people's footage.
Yeah, they'd get hyped, but then there was a bad side to watching footage.
Would they sabotage other people?
Not exactly sabotage, but they drew a little too much inspiration sometimes and go out and do a trick before they could actually get theirs in the video, or that kind of stuff would happen.
Like maybe they saw them trying a certain trick and then they'd go out and try something,
Like the same thing,
same
different spot.
thing, similar.
Or they would literally see it landed and go out and do it anyways.
Whoa.
I don't know who
But it
that
had-
was.
I mean, when you see a new trick, you want to learn it.
That's true.
yeah,
that's
don't
normal.
have- But then you also, when you see a new trick and you want to learn it, you also want to film it. You also want to hurry up and get it in the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to do that too.
You want to
right?
basically claim it.
Yeah.
You want to do that.
Yeah.
And then but the World Park days too, that must have been insane filming all those dudes in there. I mean, the shit that was going down was fucking nuts. Sock?
That was Rocco's idea, to have that place so that we can just sit there and film and just, you know, a rainy day or just nighttime and just film as much as we wanted. It started out as just being a bunch of quarter pipes and stuff. And then the guys were like, no, we need a ledge. So we took out, you know, this one little section and just made a ledge, a long ledge. And then put a manual pad in there. And then this other section just put like a little 3rd Street gap type of thing. We
Yep.
call it 3rd Street gap because it's
Yeah.
Yeah. Little bump to
Little
bump.
Oh, yeah.
the little curb
You
cut.
guys had a mini ramp there too, right?
That's what we had first.
Yeah.
At first we had a mini ramp and they took that out and decided to put that little 3rd Street bump thing.
So good though. Like the best decision that they probably made back then. You know, just having all the guys together too, and just
Yeah.
feeding off of each other, and just having. I mean, people would spend the nights there. They had bunk beds, and crazy shit would go down. Stealing shit out of the closet, product. You know, people have talked about it on the show. Sock.
They did.
Oh yeah.
He's so
Oh yeah.
nervous.
No.
I know. He's like, I gotta go. I gotta go. Can't talk about any of it. No, but people would. They would say that it was just. You know, they were all kids.
What did
you
they
know?
say? Did they say I was mad?
No. I don't think
They
it's
felt
about.
like they were torturing you.
Because I was in charge of that closet.
So it'd kind of come back to you
Well-
if it got broken into.
Not really.
But they knew. They had to have known it wasn't you, Sock.
No, they never came down on me hard about
Okay.
that. But me, I was always like, because, you know, when you're in charge of something,
You feel responsible.
you feel responsible, but at the same time, you feel violated when somebody goes against. You're the one in charge. Like, to
Just
me,
ask.
that's what it was to me.
Right.
To me, it was like, screw him. We're just going to jump in and get it. It's like, I'm right here. Just.
I think too at the time though, it's like when you're kids, like stealing stuff, it's like kind of that excitement, and you know you're not really gonna get in trouble. You know what I mean? There's
That's
no
true.
consequence.
The company's going to give it to you for free anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, that's the way they saw it.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, this stuff is free anyways. Why
Yeah.
do they lock it?
Yeah.
But there was a reason behind it, because the reason they had that closet at all is because Rodney would have to go to the wood shop, which was in Hawthorne, and bring back boxes to give to them, right? And it was just a lot of back and forth. So it was better for him to just bring in like
Have a promo closet.
8 boxes, put it in the promo closet, and that way when they needed them, just open that up. Here's 5 for you, 3 for you, 5, you know, like that.
Yeah.
And still close it up, and then later on when they needed it, right? But they wanted to raid that thing because they wanted to sell them.
Yeah.
They wanted it
Chris
all
wanted
at
Chris wanted
once.
to buy those boards.
I was, I probably bought a couple of those boards.
Yeah, they're blanks. The
Yeah?
smell of it.
Oh man.
Remember that?
Yeah, the blanks
And
too.
that's another thing too. They started doing blanks because they were selling the regular boards, and shops were getting mad. Mm-hmm. So like, oh, well, we'll do blanks. So they can't sell them, but they end up selling them anyways.
But then there became this whole fad about people wanting to ride blank boards.
Yeah, and it ruined the industry.
Kinda.
That became a problem, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we ended up having a policy where you couldn't give riders blank boards anymore. We had to have something screened on it.
Yeah.
Right. I remember I wanted to ride blank boards. I wanted to ride the bright white wheels, fresh setup, blank board. That was the shit. Because all those dudes, they would come to the courthouse, the beach. They would always have the best shit.
Still looks
always
good.
brand new.
Still looks good.
Looks amazing.
And it would be in the video. That's our problem too.
That's
We
right.
even had an
You guys
ad.
promoted it.
It was our fault.
You had an ad, yeah.
Was it
With
always the same color of like blank board, or is it like different?
It's always
It
different.
was always different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But the
they were-
wheels were always just white. Brand new wheels
Yeah.
always. You know, with the jeans and the
Back
white
then, you go
shirt.
through a pair of wheels a day. A set of wheels a day.
It just looked fresh.
Was there a preference of what color you'd like, Chris, as a blank board?
Back then, no, I was stoked to get anything.
Oh, okay.
I was just I would buy them for $20.
Yellow all day.
Sock, would you ever go in the closet?
Only for myself, yeah.
Yeah. How much are we talking about though, Sock?
But I no.
Whatever
But,
you can carry.
Do you ever sell anything?
no.
Really?
Yeah. Just a
Damn.
ride. Just a ride.
Wink twice if you sold stuff.
Yeah, there was definitely a point when I would be like, "Damn, dude, I need cash."
Sure. I mean,
But it wasn't from the closet.
No.
It would be like an extra 2 or 3 boards or something that I would have from the boxes. Because I also used to get boxes. That lasted from like 92 to 2005. So for like 13 years, I would be able to get a box like an Am would.
Yeah.
And also when I was the dude in charge of packing boxes, pack myself a box.
There you go.
How was it working for Rocco back then? Was he like intimidating at all when you were like making the videos or anything?
It was like when you first met him.
No, man, because that dude was super cool. But I had met him before that.
Right?
Yeah, back in the high school days, a friend of mine named Philip, I forgot his name, it was like a while ago. So he tells me he knows where the World Industries factory is. So I went there and I was aimlessly not knowing what we're going to do when we get there. Like, what are we going there for?
Yeah.
But still, I was interested, like
Dumpster
curious.
diving.
That's what he wanted to do. But, so we go there, and that's when they were on Spencer Street
Okay.
before the building they were in when I started working for them. And it was even smaller. It was a tiny little place in an industrial complex. And so we went there, and he was right. It was there. And so we knocked on the door, and I think he answered. He walked up and opened the door.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he's like, "Hey, how can I, what can I do for you?"
Yeah.
And we're just like, "This is World Industries." And he's like, "Yeah, it is. You want to come inside and have a tour?" And we're like,
Really?
Rocco Baby
yeah.
Club. That's so rad.
So he just invited us in and was like, "Well, here's where we this and here's where we that." And then it was a very small joint.
Sure.
Like literally the warehouse was as wide as that wall to this wall. That's the width.
Was it like before Rubber Sheep came out?
I think it was right around that time.
Huh.
So we walked in and he showed us the little warehouse. It was all cramped, all the little racks and whatever. And then over in the corner on the left was Rodney, like with a pencil and like a bunch of
Measurements.
Doing
rulers and
shapes?
stuff. And he was sitting there like designing some shape. He goes, "And this is Rodney. He's over there. Hey, Rodney, come on, get out of that and say hi to these kids." And he's like, "Eh." And then he just kept on going with his like design. Wow. And then we're like, "Oh, that's Rodney." But I didn't want to bother him. I
Sure.
didn't want to go up. And he's the madman scientist going.
Sure.
Wow.
But yeah, that was when I met Rocco. I
Okay.
didn't actually meet Rodney because he was just like,
Yeah.
Just waved hi.
he just waved
Yeah.
over and just say something. And he just went like, "Hey, kids,
Hey.
get out of here."
Did Rocco remember that meeting of you coming in? You never talked to him
I
about
never
it?
bothered to be like, "Hey, do you remember me?"
It's a funny little tidbit, you know?
Yeah.
But no, but what I meant is that since that was my first impression of the dude, so then when I started working for him, it was so much easier because I already knew how cool he was. It was like, you don't just open the door to random kids and go inside and
Yeah.
check out what we got. He was just so happy and cool about it.
Would he come in all the time? And, because he's infamous for, giving out money and stuff for like tricks and different
Giving out
things.
cars.
Cars and different things. Like, was that like
Did you ever get a Honda Civic?
No.
No. But was that an ongoing thing, or would Rocco just show up at the park and just, hey, do this, like a couple $100 and blah, 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 just kind of throwing some money around?
Yeah, the money was definitely the $100. It was always $100.
$100, always.
Yeah, $100.
What about when didn't Kareem, wasn't Kareem
Kick
all
him
eat,
into
no, all eat over the kid?
Sounds good.
I don't know if that was even for $100. He just said he'll do it.
And he's a kid that just put the kid there.
Yeah,
and,
it was Pat Rocco's kid.
wow.
Yeah, we were sketch. I didn't film it.
No, you didn't.
Dowling filmed it.
Oh, really?
I didn't want to film that. A truck to the head.
I know.
And that's it for your kid.
Yeah.
And the back truck is the one that'll get you.
Yeah, Kareem's a
Oh.
professional, though.
Here's an ollie.
Hit
and
that kingpin?
I did know, though. I was like, no, Kareem's got this.
Yeah.
I knew that there was a chance, but then I was like, nah, Kareem's going to do this.
Yeah.
Wait,
Kareem's
where
gonna
was
do this.
that?
It was in the park.
It was at the
Oh,
World
really?
Park.
Yeah.
It was off that one little ledge thing that we're talking about.
Yeah, he had
the
to
higher
ollie.
side.
Yeah.
He had to ollie up, and then yeah.
Yeah.
God, that video brings back so many memories for me. And you were just about to say, Raj, the over the kick
Kick into the plywood.
into the plywood.
Yeah, the backside flip.
Yeah.
That was
Backside flip.
crazy because that was, I think, on one side we still had a quarter pipe, but on the other side we had just gotten done building a bunch of stuff. So they had like 8 sheets of plywood just leaning against the wall. And those are the 8 sheets of plywood he landed that backside flip into. Like if it was a ramp.
Yeah.
Right.
He went up and just did a backside flip and landed right into that. No one thought it was even possible.
Is
But
Rocco
right.
giving like certain amount of tries for these $100, or is he just kind of like, hey, if you do it, I'll give you $100?
Yeah, some of them were tries and some of them were do it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that one wasn't Rocco. That backside flip was Rodney. That's
Really?
why I went, it was, because Rodney wouldn't do that.
Huh.
Rodney wouldn't just give out $100.
Right.
So for him to say, I got $100 on this, was for him to say, yeah, this ain't happening. This isn't going to happen. I'll put $100 on this because
Yeah.
this isn't going to happen.
Wow.
And he did it. But so when I yelled that, it was more like he did it. Like rubbing it in his face. $100.
$100.
You got to pay him $100. You got to do this. And I did tell him, I was like, you got to pay him. He's like, oh, yeah. I don't think he ever did.
We can stay on this era forever. You know,
Sorry.
we got no. We could stay on this era forever, but we still
gotta
have
move on. Yeah.
Trilogy, 20 shot. I mean, we have a lot of shit to talk about.
Okay.
But do you have any like very fond? Like, do you have like a fondest memory of like Lovechild days, World Park days, like something that you really kind of go back to when you think about it? Or was it just kind of that those snapshots in your head of like the backside flip and this thing and the closet and is it just snapshots, or do you really have
Both. It's the snapshots and the things I remember too, like that, like amazing stuff that, like at the time when you see it happen.
Yeah.
But it's also the nights that, because I had the key to the park
Mm-hmm.
and, the key in the alarm code or whatever. And so I can go there whenever I wanted to.
Right.
And I can go there with whoever I wanted to, even though I wasn't supposed to. I would still bring like whoever wanted to go with me.
The homies and
And
shit,
so
yeah.
those nights when it was just me, my brother, some other friends, and Daewon, because
Yeah.
Daewon was always there.
Okay.
I was always with Daewon. Like, no matter where we went during those days, Daewon was with us.
That's right.
So if there was a skate park session, he was there. So we would, and not just like to film. Sometimes we just show up just to go hang out.
Sick.
And if we wanted to skate, there it is. If not, we just hang out and sit around and hang out,
Was there ever a trick that Daewon did that you missed that you wish you could have got?
Of Daewon?
Yeah.
No, not missed. I think there's one that I lost.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
There might have been the trick that I lost the tape of. I can't remember what it was. I just remember him going, where is it? And I'm looking through tapes and I can't remember. It might have been one of those like filmed the ground, then stopped it to film and then filmed. Because I used to film the ground, not the hand. That
Oh,
was a
right, yeah.
sloshbach thing.
Oh. Okay.
That's a totally different story on why people put their hand in front of it. That was Dave Sloshbach.
He started that.
Yep.
To market.
Yeah, to
Just
market.
Fast forward through, there's a hand.
He saw me doing that, and he goes, why are you filming the ground? I was like, because when I forward these things, I can't tell what's a land, because sometimes they'll like land something sketchy, and that ain't the land.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
you see him roll away, and you got to stop, rewind it, and then miss it, and I went too far, and then
Yep.
it takes
Time
forever.
consuming.
Yep.
So when you're forwarding it, all you do is go forward, over, see the ground. Stop, there it is. And so he's like, yeah, but when you're filming a lot of people, you're going to miss the next trick by filming the ground. You're going to go move up, and now you missed half of it. He's like, why don't you just keep the camera at the level ready to film, so when they land the trick, you just put your hand in front of it, keep rolling, and then when the next guy comes, all you got to do is take your hand off, and then you didn't miss a trick. He was always thinking ahead like that.
That's pretty rad.
Wow. Smart.
Never knew he was like the dude who did that.
I know.
But I was like, I want to do it my way still. So.
You didn't listen. After a while, though, you listened to him. You did the hand thing.
No, I always.
You always
filmed
just film the ground?
Yeah, I kept filming the ground because I didn't have 9 people I was filming.
What about
This
Daewon?
dude filmed a lot of people
Yeah,
at the
he
same
did.
time.
That's true. What about Daewon? Did you ever have a hard time keeping up with him? I mean, it skates fast.
I learned how.
Yeah. What
I
about
mean,
the line that he did around the whole school?
That was an awesome one. You know why? Because he kept building to it.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't.
Just kept
he-
adding on to it.
It was an add-on because he didn't think, today I'm going to go do 9 tricks in this line sock, so I'm going to start way back here. No, he started out like at the main part of the school where the stairs are.
Okay.
And he would do something and be like, you know what, maybe I could probably throw in this. He'll start a little further back and then go boom, 360 flip, and then keep going. Then he's like, there's a bump out back. I think I could probably 360 ollie that. And then he'll go back there and do that.
Over the little manhole thing.
The little manhole thing.
Yeah.
So he kind of like worked backwards.
Yeah, he kept going backwards.
Yeah.
He kept adding on to the beginning of his lines.
Yeah.
Still ending at the stairs.
Yeah.
Still with the idea that he was going to end at the stairs. But the tricks after the stairs were also just added because he landed and was like, all right, keep going.
Keep going. Yeah.
So yeah, so he kept going. Then he did the pop shove it. Then he's like, I could probably start way back here and do a front pop shove it. And so that's what he did. And he just kept adding. And I was like, sick. He just, how much further back are we going to go? We're going to just keep going around the school. So yeah, we started out way in the back at the end, and he finally did all the tricks. Just kept going, boom, 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 boom. Did the stairs, and he landed it and just kept going. So I kept filming. And if he would have landed that last little like hand plant thing that he did, he would have probably just kept going back around to the start.
That's incredible.
Didn't you break your arm at that school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was a dislocation.
Dislocation.
Oh,
That's probably going to end up being what kills me.
You literally fell backwards and popped your elbow or something, right?
Yeah, it was like about a 90-degree twist, but the opposite way.
Oh.
Yeah. That footage was terrible.
Wait, were you skating or
Yeah,
were
it
you?
was, what is 50-50 on it's a little double side like ledge, right? And you went over.
Yeah, it was a double-sided ledge that was about a little lower than this.
Okay.
It was like the height of like your average Lockwood table,
Sure.
but it was like cement, and it was a little bit double-sided. It was a planter on the other side.
Yep.
And the rollerblader era,
Oh.
so they would
Ooh.
wax the hell out of it so they could slide because they're rubbery wheels, really soft rubbery wheels. So they had to wax the crap out of it. So I wanted to do a 5.0, and it came too easy. I was doing backside 5.0s, and I was like, this seems too easy to film because Dimitri wanted to film it. He's like, let me film that for Big Brother. And I was like, it's just a 5.0. And he's like, well, that's good enough. And I was like, I don't know, man.
Chomp footage.
I skate with these guys, right? I can't just do a
5.0, right?
And so I'm doing backside 5.0s. I go, maybe I can like 180 out. I was thinking of shoveling out, but I thought it's too high. It's going to end up flipping and primoing on me.
Okay.
So I was like, let me just backside 180 out. So I'm doing 5.0s, and to backside 180 out, before I could even 180, I wanted to like turn. So my body was already in this weird motion. And on one of them, I didn't hit the 5.0, but I was already in that motion, and I slid out.
Yeah.
And I tried to put my feet down to save me. Like my reaction is always to put my foot down.
Right.
And then jump off. Like I fall and I just go boom and it spring off.
Sure.
But the wax. So I slipped out, and I wasn't even, and I just put my hand down. It's one of those like reactions.
Was it your
like,
left hand?
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't have to film switch.
No.
No, you still could film.
I was still able to skate after that because I always fall forward, and even when I skate, I fall forward in my hand, my leading hand,
Okay.
If it would have been my leading hand, I'd be screwed. But yeah, so then that's what happened. I ended up eating shit, and I didn't feel anything like my whole arm. It just went numb.
Oh.
I remember when I laid there, the pain was immediate, and I was like, ah. And I looked down, and I couldn't feel where my arm was. It was like if it didn't
It's
exist.
like you just like you fell off.
Yeah.
That's
You
scary.
didn't have the
it
urge
was
to try and
scary.
pop that in place, or?
No, I knew better. I was like, I'm not going to try to pop it in place.
Got to go to the hospital.
Yeah, so I told John Fitisimanu.
Yeah, Daewon's homie. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of our homies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
DJ Runway.
I had to get up, and I had to pick it up. I couldn't move it.
man.
I had to pick it up and walk around with it like this. And I was like, oh shit, look at this.
It's not something that you want to. It kind of ends a session, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
don't want to really.
It did.
It did.
Oh, and
Yeah.
any session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Man,
broke my
I
arm.
seriously could talk about Lovechild all day. It was one of those videos. It was like, for me, blind video days, Lovechild.
What?
Those were my first two videos.
Okay, so earlier you did ask me what was my first footage in, and I went off on a stupid tangent about like technically in that one little clip of these guys eating shit.
Yeah.
But my real first footage in a skateboarding video was Rodney footage in Questionable because
was
it
it.
came out before Lovechild.
Oh, okay.
And I had filmed it before Lovechild.
Okay, so I'm wrong.
It came
It
out
was-
like a week before.
Yeah,
it was
but
like
the-
so close to one another.
Yeah, but so that's another technically. So yeah, but actually, really, it did come out before. But I filmed him before I filmed all the dudes. So for like a month, I did film him until I started filming all the rest of the guys, and finally quit my job at the factory or whatever.
Right,
but
right.
yeah, that was Rodney's line at the Mervin's Gap where he nose blunts
On the red
crazy-
curb?
Yeah. I got crazy stories on that one too because it wasn't my camera. My camera had shit right before he called me. And so I was like, damn, my camera broke, and I had to borrow it from this like autistic friend of mine that lived in East LA, Chris Yanis from East LA. He was a total character.
Really?
Oh, this guy would literally get a job at the local Burger King, whatever, for as long as he needed to just accumulate enough money to enter Castle the next year, including all his meals, buses, and trains that he needed, because Castle was all the whole state. You had to take a train sometimes. Oh. And he was Chris Yanes from East LA, and he'd show up, and that's how they announced him. And here comes Chris Yanes from East LA. And that dude one time had lent a friend a camera, and he busted it filming skating. So at some point, his grandma was going to kick the bucket, I guess she knew. And so she wanted to see him spend his inheritance. So she gave him like a bunch of money all at once. And he goes out and buys 2 cameras. And I asked him, what do you need 2 cameras? And they're identical. He goes, well, that's because next time when he borrows my camera and he breaks it, I have this one.
So you borrowed one.
And I was like, well, can I borrow that one? Because I need to film Rodney.
Well, this one's going to break. Can we borrow that?
And he's like, yeah, but... He's like, okay, but you're going to need to let me borrow your lens. I was like, that's what I'm going to need. And he's like, no. And I was like, damn, man. So, all right, maybe these guys have a lens, and I'll just let them borrow my lens while I'm borrowing his camera. And I need product, and I need to be with you. I need to go with you. I need to see Rodney skate.
Oh my gosh.
So I showed up, and I did tell Rodney about everything but him being there.
That's probably the most important part.
Yeah.
I left out the most important
You can come, but
part.
you got to watch in the bushes over there.
But Rodney's like really specific on who he skates with, right?
I didn't know that. Because this is the very, very first day that I went out to film him.
Right.
The very first day after answering the call to, yeah, okay, I'll film you.
You bring your homie.
And I bring my homie. He brings like whatever. Actually, no, the product he brought another week, but that's a different story. So I show up. I show up with my friend's camera, which I didn't know is different than my camera that had busted. On these new Sony cameras, you had this little lever that once you turn it on, you have to flick that on.
Okay.
It was like a little button cover in case...
It was like a lock.
Yeah, it's a lock.
Yeah.
So that, I guess it's so you don't... I don't know. Either
Hit
way...
record up by accident.
Or switch into like VTR mode or whatever.
Oh,
something
gotcha.
like that. So you had to like lift it up first to even turn it on. So I'm turning it on. Batteries are powered up and everything. And I'm fiddling with the camera. Rodney's like, "Are you done yet? This kid is driving me nuts, and you're not ready." And
Rodney's like, "What did I get myself into?"
That night we didn't shoot.
No.
Suffice to say, no, because he said, "All right, okay, we're gonna have to start fresh another day. Do not bring him."
Oh wow.
Yeah. He's running around in circles like a little rat, and like just trying to impress me, and it's driving me nuts. Don't ever bring him.
Yeah.
Don't bring nobody. Don't bring anybody. He's like, don't bring anyone, just you. And please get your camera situated. I was like, I already got it now. He goes, okay, you got it? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, but we're still tonight's a wash.
Like it's done.
Tonight's done. I'm over it. So then we did film another night. That night he did bring the product.
Oh, he did.
A bag of white wheels. Like 30 in a bag.
For
my friend.
So you told him like, hey, dude, it's his camera. I got to borrow this, the whole thing.
Yeah. I told him that.
The whole thing. I won't bring him this time, but he just needs a bag of wheels.
But yeah, so then from that point on, it was at Mervin's Gap. And from that point on, we filmed. And the first line that I filmed him actually land was that line.
Wow.
Where
you are filming Rodney Mullen. Questionable.
Now, that's the one, if you're going to ask me about, oh, were you psyched on who you were filming? That one.
Okay.
And not to say that these other guys are like whatever to me. It's just that they were my age and younger.
Yeah.
And they were just getting their start, too.
Rodney
like, here's Rodney Mullen.
Established, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's Rodney that I had been watching in all these videos that I used to love to watch. I mean, he was in the very first video that I watched. You know what I mean? So, and so he's larger than life to me. So for me to be filming him, I was like, and that's the first pro skater that I filmed.
Questionable was huge.
And yeah, when that video came out, I was super psyched. And not only that, after a while when I was filming all the dudes, because they all used to skate together, Plan B, all the guys. And so I'd film Rick Howard.
Wow.
Dude was super cool too. He was like down to, and that's another dude that I was super psyched to film because he's somebody that I knew who he was ahead of time too. Back in my Castle days, he was already Blockhead? He was already a pro.
Yeah.
Like Adventures in Cheese, I guess. And so we knew who Rick Howard was. Wow. With his like skunk board and all that. So
skunk board with the root beer.
Yeah, dude. And I was like, dude, I'm filming this dude. And I was psyched that he was so cool about it. Like he wasn't like, who's this kid? He was super cool.
What tricks did you film of him in the Questionable?
I think it might have been a couple of things.
At the Burl School or something? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of things there.
When Daewon did that trick and Daniel Castillo, he's the best. He's the best in the world.
That's that place.
Yeah. You film that one?
Yeah. I was sick that he...
Were you just like, dude, what? Like, I mean, obviously you're filming everything, but Daewon does this trick and you just pan back up to Daniel.
He was up there. like a bird in a tree chirping. And he was up there. And he was always chirping the whole time.
Right.
He was talking. That was the one that I decided to film. But he was talking the whole time.
I think even too, you had the fisheye on, right? And you zoomed in on him, which makes it a little blurrier, right? Isn't that
yeah, it's sick, huh?
Yeah.
It was just an effect. It was something that just happened when you zoomed in on those fisheyes, but you could at least zoom in.
But it was cool though.
I love that in footage back then. You had the fisheye, and when they went far away, you would zoom in on them and then zoom back out. Did you do that all the time?
When I had to.
Yeah.
Like on the courthouse stage, I couldn't get close enough to them because they were up there.
And here's a fisheye that if they get 10 feet away, it looks like they're an ant.
Yeah.
In the footage.
When they just get like too far away, then all of a sudden they look way too small.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. I didn't like that effect. And all you see is these stairs going by and the dude going behind the pillars in the background. And he finally shows up. I thought it was too dead. It seemed like too much of a dead zone of like watching nothing, just going, oh, he's coming back. Oh, there he is. Now he does this trick. So I thought if I zoomed in, you get to at least see him.
What's going on, yeah.
And everything goes by faster when you zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
Did you film that line of Kareem at the courthouse? I can't remember. He goes from one set of stairs all the way over to the other set, and then comes around. There's a group of people standing in front of it.
Well, he's like he's up to 4, and then like I think Trey flips off or something.
I forget.
Yeah, I don't know which one.
But I'm in the background.
Sick.
Yeah. Because it was like Daniel and a bunch of dudes standing around. It was because I was probably trying to buy product off of them or something. But so we filmed together. You filmed me.
I did film you.
Yeah. Well, we should talk about Tim and Henry's Pack of Lies.
Okay.
Your first video.
You edited it and everything.
Yeah. That was my first try at editing a video, and it was on tape to tape VTRs. So what we would do is I learned from these guys, we would take the masters and then we'd copy over the footage to a tape that had music. We would plug in a boombox where the CD would play, and we'd plug it in through mini stereo plugs that had like XLRs and then the auxiliary input on the VTRs.
Okay.
And we get it in there. We just record black so that we had the tape striped, and just record the audio of the music only on one track. There was 2 tracks, audio 1 and 2, and one of them was specific for the music. Then once that was on there, we would take the footage and start layering it on. And even before that, we would try to like make a mock-up, we called it, where we would try to figure out how it looked.
Do it all on paper?
Yeah, we do it on paper, like a timeline. You know, when you edit on a timeline now on a computer, those timelines with the little, it was represented by this line. We would actually draw those. I would draw them like this and go, okay, this represents this trick, this represents, and you would just kind of picture it in your head and go, all right, that's how I'm going to put it on.
Yeah, this certain part of the song, there's a beat I want to hit on. Or, yeah.
So then I would lay that down onto like another tape. We'd watch it and throw the music onto it just to see if it fit. No, that one sucks. Record over it. This is only on one track. Anyways, you're not recording over the video or the other audio. You're only recording onto the audio track. So you record that song onto it and watch it over and over and go, that's good. And then you know what? Now you'd watch it and go, this would be better there. Write it down. That would be more at the end. Write it down. And then you had to start over on another part of the tape. So that tape had like different versions of it as you watched it. Like the first version was there, the second version was there, and usually the second or third version was already the one that people wanted.
Interesting. So the audio, the music was locked. That track was locked, and then you just kind of go in and piece together the skating.
It was that, or we would throw the music on afterwards. Like I would put the footage first and then throw the song in there, lay it in there, and see if it worked.
How would you replace a clip?
Insert edits.
Interesting.
Yeah, if we could.
Okay.
If not...
So basically you tell the machine to basically record from this time code to this time code. And
But let's say if it didn't fit, because most tricks are about the same size. If it's not a line.
A second or two.
Yeah.
Right.
So that would make the difference on why you'd see a little extra rollaway on something. Like a little extra push.
Yeah.
If you see somebody landing a trick and then all of a sudden they're doing too many pushes at the end, you're like, why did he put that in there? Yeah. That's because something else was there before that took up more space. But then at the end, they're like, no, this would go in there.
You need...
And swap it, so we'd edit that trick in and swap it for that trick, and then that one's in there now, but it has a little bit too much because the last trick was too big, so now this one has a little too much in there. And I would mess with the in and out points to make sure that if it did have too much end, I would like
Maybe a little more roll
add
up.
like 10 more frames at the beginning.
Yeah.
And we would just do that just over. These machines had something called a preview button though.
Okay.
So the preview button was a way for it to back up by 3 or 4 seconds, and it'd watch the edit as it would be if you actually did make the edit, so that you could see it. And so you'd watch it and go, watch it again, beep, beep, beep. Preview again, preview again. It looks like it's too much at the end, and it would fit better on the music if it was to the right more.
Yeah.
And like he would land on beat if you moved it over to the right by 10 frames. So then we'd go back and add 10 frames to the beginning, and it would automatically give it to the end because your transferred tape, your master tape, would have the in and out.
Yeah.
I think you call it a 3-point edit. It's like,
What
because
an
there's 3
interesting-
points. There's the in and out on the right tape, and the tape you're coming from only in. You only need to put the in.
Yeah.
So
So
all
the
you have to
machine would
do-
just stop when it needed to stop.
Yeah, it'll stop right at the point when it hits the time code on the tape
Yeah.
you're recording to. So anyways, we would do, that's how we'd fluctuate. That's we'd make
Okay.
it fit and boom. So that's what we would do.
I always
and
wondered
learned how to
about
do it.
that. You know, why they put that push in there? That's why.
Sometimes.
That's
And
why.
sometimes I would want to because they would land something and right away push.
Right.
There was this thing during that time where people land and do like a save me push.
Yeah. Like they're bounces off, but
Yeah,
They
yeah.
land and they're a little off balance and just push.
Save.
Yep.
Yep.
Save it. What was the point behind the Tim and Henry's video?
promo.
It-
Yeah, I know it was a promo video, but I mean, was that like your idea to do it, or did they say, "Hey, we want something, you should do something"?
Okay, no, we were filming for a blind video by that point. We had filmed, it was at the same time we were filming for Lovechild. We were
Okay.
filming at the same time. These guys were filming for a lot longer. They had their camera, like even as far back as like Mark and Jason being on.
Oh, wow.
Like they were always filming. And they
Okay.
had the blind camera. They would always like film themselves. And so they had some footage. But then when I got on, I started filming them more, and we started, that footage was old. This is at the time when a year-old footage was, whoa, dude, that was 91. We can't use that.
Yeah.
So by the end of that, Tim and Henry both had a ton of footage.
Tim
And
was flying out every week or every weekend
yeah, he'd stay
from
out there.
Arizona.
Sometimes he'd stay a whole week. He'd
Yeah.
be out here.
Right.
Him and like Schnurr would always come out here.
Yep, Schnurrball.
Yeah. So Tim and Henry would both have like a ton of footage. Guy had a little bit,
Rudy.
but those are the dudes that didn't. Rudy and all the rest.
Lottie.
Like Lottie had just gotten on, and he didn't have a lot of footage either. And I forgot who else I had put on. Ronnie Bertino, and
Yep.
he didn't have a lot of footage. So there wasn't a lot of footage of the other guys to make a full length video. And Rudy definitely had to have a full part. This is one of the original dudes. If
Yeah.
you're trying to keep blind going, you got to have Guy, you got to have Rudy. I mean, the new dudes are good, and they had sick parts. But if you're gonna make a full length, that's what you got to do. You can't just
Sprinkle them in.
have them have 1 minute each, which is pretty much what they had.
Yeah.
And then so that was the idea. They had done it before. They'll do it again. They'll just go, look, it worked before. Let's just do another 2-man promo.
Okay.
And this one, they just called it Tim and Henry's.
Yeah.
Tim and Henry's promotional video. Then
Pack of Lies.
at the very end, when they put the sticker on, I think that was Rocco's idea to call it Pack of Lies.
I remember it as Tim and Henry's promotional video.
Yeah.
Roger always says, "Oh, Pack of Lies, Pack of Lies." I don't remember it being Pack of Lies. I remember it being promotional video.
The original-
I even think it says it on the label. I could be
It
totally
does.
wrong.
Yeah, the original title of it, even when you watch the video, I think it says it at the beginning. It's Tim and
Okay.
Henry's promotional video. And then it says, but it does have that segment where like there's like 2 or 3 clips of each dude that are coming soon.
Right.
There you go. There's your Pack of Lies.
Oh, wow.
I like it.
But that was kind of like happenstance because I don't know where Rocco came up with the idea, but at that point we still thought we could come up with a full-length blind video, even though Jacob Rosenberg was right and he doubted me. But yeah,
Right. Wow.
he was like, "You sure you can do this? You think you can follow up on Spike's masterpiece?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Damn, all the pressure." I was like, "Well, I'm gonna put together if they want me to put a video together, I'm gonna put it together if they want me to." So you think you can do it? I was like, "I can make a video. I'm not gonna go and call out say I'm gonna make a better video, but it's really up to the writers to make a better video.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not up to me. I'm not gonna try to make I wasn't the type of video maker that wanted to make the masterpiece. I was like the video maker that wanted to put the video together because people wanted to see these guys. It wasn't about me.
Right.
It was about showcasing the talents, and if the video was going to be better than video days, it would be because the footage was better, not because the way I put it together was better, because that wasn't going to happen. But but Rosenberg said no, he doubted, and he was right.
Wow.
But maybe he was saying that because he was more clued into what was going on, and I think he knew they were going to make a promotional video instead. It was really right shortly after that's when they came up to me. It was like, okay, we're going to do this. And they're always so stern and like so serious with me, like, because I think I'm just a kid, you know? And now looking back, I can see why. But at the time, I was throwing like, oh, come on, man. Like, have a little faith.
Yeah.
But they were just like, they found out who I was. They were like, this is just a kid with a camera, you know? So we're going to have to like really be, all right, don't screw this up.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's money riding on this.
Oh, yeah.
So,
for sure.
Yeah. So but I mean, like, I pulled through, I think, in the end. It's a
Tim and Henry's
skateboard
was
video.
amazing. One of my favorites, dude.
Wait,
I'll pop
it's one of
that
my
in
all-time
right-
favorites.
Yeah, seriously. The song, Tim's song. Henry Sanchez killing it up there in SF.
When that video came out, were they already known at that point? Or was that like the first time people were really seeing them? Because that was before my time. I'm not really sure when they were like first came out, you know?
I feel like it was the first time I saw like Tim Gavin. I could be totally wrong
Like,
though.
did it come out and people were like, who is this dude? This guy's the best.
Some people might have known Tim. I think he was in
He was
an
in H Street video, yeah.
He was in a couple. Yeah, he
Okay.
was in
See, that was before my time.
yeah, he had a couple clips. But you see, H Street videos would throw dudes in there, and they wouldn't really say their name, I think. They would just be in the mix.
Yeah.
They would, here's some dudes from over here, and boom.
Yeah.
Here's SF, and here's some dudes. And
They
throw
sprinkled
them in.
Costin in there, like, shit like that.
So that's how their videos were.
Yeah.
And Tim was in there. And I guess there are some people that knew he was on the team, that kind of stuff. But worldwide, nobody knew. No,
Yeah.
until that video, I think.
Man, what a great style. I mean,
Wow.
his shorts and it's just it was so good.
Everybody wore those shorts.
Yeah. What about now 20 shot sequence? Did you have anything to do with that or did you
I got one last.
Go ahead, bro.
Pack a live
Please,
question.
please.
Playing Henry's music, Into the Black. Was that because you guys had already laid it to tape, and just didn't have enough footage to cover it all?
See, yeah, now you know.
Yeah.
So earlier today when I was talking about how we laid it out, he
Yeah.
figured it out. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, so that's why it's on there.
Yeah.
So at the end of the video, the
music keeps going.
The music just keeps going
It's all
after
black.
Henry's part.
We ran out of footage.
And you couldn't just cut the song.
I didn't want to. We could have. I could have just edited silence.
Yeah.
Right.
I could have just cut it. But that video was the start of my style of making videos.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I went to school there doing that video.
Yeah.
And so what I got out of it was, if I got any success story out of making that video, was to work always with the writers. Because I'm getting thrown into this mix, not admitting that I really am a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Right.
But it helped that both of them had a vision of what their parts was going to be like.
Okay.
And they both wanted the songs they chose. Henry wanted the song, and he even chose it to start after the bricks. He's like, I want that part to just be bricks.
Oh.
So he's like, then when that part, all these EMB clips, and then all of a sudden now you can start it right when I start this line. That's when you start the music.
That's sick.
That's his
Wow.
idea. Now, had he not chosen it, I would have started at the very beginning. He chose the song, but I still would have started the song at the very beginning if he didn't ask for that. And then it wouldn't have lined up the way it did
Yeah.
because the footage was laid out waiting for what song. Some songs were already there, and then some songs you lay it later.
Yeah.
And on this one, we laid it down, and as I was watching it, I was like, it's the changes in the music, because
coming
that song
together.
does little changes. Like sometimes it'll go to the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yep.
It'll just be like dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And it'll just be like hitting. That's when the single clips hit. I didn't do that on purpose.
It just happened.
It happened because he told me to start it later. And so I started it later, and it ended up lining up that way.
That's perfect.
Yeah, the way it was lined up before, it wouldn't hit that way. But he said, no, line it up after the break. So I did. And that's when the song would just come into like a part where it goes down, 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 down. And it would just go off. And that part, that's when lines would hit.
Yeah.
Like when the song would draw out longer,
Yeah.
the longer
when you put a
lines
line
would show
there,
up.
yeah.
No, but I didn't put them in there. They were there already. It all lined up that way.
That's insane.
Wow.
When I caught on to that, I noticed that it wasn't exact. It was very close. Just by like.
So you'd go back and move frames over.
What I did was I made the next edit. Because you know how I said we do like another version.
Yeah.
And this time it was with the music first,
Okay.
Laid it all the same order, right? And then started tweaking it. Started going, okay, this fits better. Just move it over to the left, move it over to the right. And then finally ended up landing close to it, because sometimes if it doesn't land on the music, you're gonna end up making another clip suffer just because you want it to. It's gotta land.
Yeah.
But now this dude lands it, and you get one frame of him landing.
Right.
You don't want him to just land and boom, now next clip.
Yeah.
And I was like guilty of doing that a lot, like landing stuff and like 5 clips,
5 frames.
5 frames later, like it's already the next clip, and people are like, why is that in there so quick? Like, give it room to breathe.
Sure.
But it's because I wanted the other one to land
Yeah.
right on. So I did that to that video, and then at the very end, I think what it was is that we were expecting more footage to come, and that was it. It was one of those like, this has to come out.
Yeah.
We're done. And I was like, well, it ends that way.
It's amazing.
But it's
though.
a sick
I remember
ending.
watching
I
it
love
thinking
it.
like, oh, there's gonna be more at the end of all this. Like, and just listening to the whole song, thinking there's gonna be like some sort of like Easter egg at the end.
How much of the song was left?
I don't know, like 30 seconds maybe.
30 seconds.
Because it just goes on and it slows down.
I like that you kept it that way, though. I mean, it just kind of just made it.
It's like a happy
It's
accident.
like a happy accident, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I could have chosen to cut it off,
Right.
but I decided to leave it because, first of all, it's a
good
small
song.
video,
Yeah.
and you're ending off with a really good song, and it's a good part of the song, and it's good to, and it's also because possibly because I have this weird thing about. During that time, I'd also listen to KRF 101 because I was into like listening to oldies myself.
Yeah.
And that was KRF 101 would play like 50s, 60s music, but they would always have this problem where they would cut the song short. And I'd be like, this is my favorite part of the song at the end. At like the last 20 seconds, they'd cut it and go, hey, this is KRF 101.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, shit, they cut the best part. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to cut that part because it was a good part. I like that part at the end when it slows down like that. And I just let it sit. I was like, let them listen.
And it's also, too, like, let me just process what I just watched. You know, it's like the song's still going, and like let me just absorb this, and it's black
just
right
melt in your face.
Yeah, just like holy shit.
Yeah, I just let it sit. I wanted, let them listen to it.
I love it.
No one said anything about it. I was at first going, oh, they're probably going to tell me about what's going on with it. They didn't.
That's amazing.
They just let me let it sit. I think we put some credits at the end maybe, and then that's it. And let it keep on going. Let
great.
people listen to the song. Don't cut the song off. It's a good song.
It's a good
It's a
song.
great song, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to cut it off. I felt bad cutting it off.
You made the right decision.
Cool.
Yeah. So 20 shot sequence, Trilogy. I mean, these are,
Trilogy.
bro. I mean, that's your
That's
shit.
my shit, dude.
Yeah.
Thank
20
you.
shot sequence was incredible.
Wait, so
Yeah,
did you
I
film
ended
all
up
that
with-
stuff too and edit it?
Well, I didn't film all of it because I don't think there is a video where I filmed all of it.
No.
Like half the footage is always someone else's footage.
Yeah,
You know,
true.
like the SF stuff, I didn't even go to SF until 93.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lot of the SF stuff in the early footages was Mesa's
Mesa.
and some other people filming. And then the 20 shot, yeah, I filmed probably most of 20 shot, but there was still, 20 shot was one of those first videos that we started putting all the companies in it.
Yeah.
Instead of people's parts, it was companies' parts.
Yeah.
I love
The companies
it.
had
So
the
good,
parts.
though. Yeah.
And like Nodis would just handle all the 101 stuff, and then Pablo would handle all the prime stuff, and it was like that. So some of those things I didn't have nothing to do. It's just to throw it in the middle of the video where they said, "Hey, put it here."
Oh, you didn't even deal with any of the edit at all, or help edit?
Not on like some of the videos, no. Like especially in Trilogy. Yeah, before I go off and lie, I can't remember everything.
No, it's fine.
But
So like, who did like 101 snuff? And like those kind
yeah,
of
those
videos?
were all Nodis. I didn't
Right.
have any. The only thing I ever did probably for one of those videos is I think I filmed Lee Peterson, and I might have filmed maybe a clip or two of
Was he in his
Costa.
cowboy hat?
Well, I didn't film that skit.
His line that he turned around.
I think I filmed him at the beach.
Oh, the sand gaps.
Yeah, I think that's probably the only thing I filmed of
He
him.
was great, man. I liked Lee Peterson.
He was a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know his story. I don't know what happened
I
with
thought
him.
his name was Lay for a long time. Yeah. Weird spelling.
Wait, and on Trilogy when they have like the menace section where like they're editing and stuff like that, was that you editing? Do you remember that section right before
Where they break in?
They break
Oh,
in.
the break-in? That
Or-
was Kareem's idea. That was a little skit.
Oh yeah, that's right. They break in and edit the video, right? And then,
Yeah, they break in to supposedly put their part in the
In the
video.
video.
that's what it was.
Right.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
The
yeah.
whole thing was to break into the editing room and like no one's here. The gun.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know why,
yeah.
but yeah. So they break in and they get the tape and they like put it in and they hit the little button. Like, it's gonna go in now.
Yeah.
And when you watch it, it's as if they recorded it onto the master of Trilogy.
Right. Did you film a lot of the Menace dudes?
During
also?
that time, that was all I was doing.
That's yeah.
Wow. How
Joey
was that?
Surreal.
That was what I was doing from like 94 on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was filming those guys before they were Menace. They were hanging out, and I remember hearing about it, the whole story of how Kareem was going to put this team together and later on was going to ride for it. But for a while, he stayed on World.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to put Shiloh on, and Shiloh didn't get on. It was all these plans, and then in the end, it was just it was Joey,
Billy,
Fabian,
Pupeki.
and Pupeki.
What a great squad.
And then Javi.
I always thought it was crazy that like Kareem quit World, did Blue, and came back to ride for World.
That was a crazy story that had nothing to do with me. It was like I started filming when he was an AM, and then I think he got the boot before I started working for them.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was like the summer of '91 because by the time I actually got the job, he wasn't on the team anymore.
Oh.
So when Lovechild came out, he wasn't on the
He
team
was
at all.
on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So he could have been in Lovechild.
Yeah, he could have been
Yeah.
in Lovechild. But there was some crazy issue that happened during one of those tours, and he got the blame and he got the boot.
Wow.
That's all I know about that.
Sugar in the gas tank.
I don't know what it was. I think it might be.
Didn't Javante tell some story
Yeah,
about that?
that's what
he
it
did.
was.
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, I think Javante
Is that what he
some-
said? He said sugar in the gas tank?
Like
Something.
sabotage the van. Like in
Yeah.
Florida or something like that, so you can like fly home or something.
Okay, that was whatever happened on a certain tour and Kareem was on, he got the blame.
And then he went and started Blue.
He didn't
skate-
start Blue. He skated for Blue.
Oh, he
Yeah, he-
skated for Blue.
Yeah, he skated for Blue, which was probably Dunes.
Yep.
Whose was
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Chris
yeah,
Foster.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It was like
Okay.
that was. I think Blue was before Stereo. That's what that was.
Yep.
So yeah, he was on that. And it was sick when I would watch because I wouldn't skate with him, because he wasn't part of the crew anymore.
Right.
And then every once in a while he'd show up and I'd see him skate and I saw how much better he got, like his pop, his style, everything. And I was amazed. I was just like, damn, the way this guy frontside threes. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then later on they put him on.
Yeah.
After Lovechild, they went back and put him back on. They were like, you got to put him back on.
Yeah.
And that was a good choice, man, because
Yeah.
that part, New
Oh
World
my
Order.
God.
New World Order.
New World Order. Yes.
Yeah. New World Order.
Bringing
was-
me back, Sock. I fucking love it, man. All this shit that I just is in the back of my head.
Yeah, New World Order was one of those videos where I would have this idea in mind because I had already started making my videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had this idea, and so I'd put together parts and look at them and watch them, and then all of a sudden they'd come in and just say, "Yeah, we just need all the footage. We're going to give it to these dudes, and they're going to put it together." It was like some music video editors from Chicago or something. It was
Okay.
Winco.
Winco.
Oh,
Yeah.
Winco.
Winco and Eric Matthews. And so those guys put together New World Order like a music video style, like hip hop video. Like they went out and filmed it all, like
Yeah.
jazzed it up.
Right.
It was cool. It was a
Okay.
good video. They did, the look of it was better than what I would have done.
Oh, seriously?
The look of it, because
Yeah.
that's the problem I had, is that I didn't have any kind of like a theme on anything. You know what I mean? I didn't
Art direction.
no art direction, no direction. Just basically just slap everyone's part together to music, and they didn't want that.
Yeah.
God, which
Which
is
is-
sometimes the best thing to do.
But I mean, in the end, it is still that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just
true.
It's just
That's how you
maybe
dress it.
it's easier to segue from one section to the next when it's got these little
Vignettes. Yeah.
these little skits or whatever. And then so that was the video of that was like that. Then 20 Shot I did edit with the Riders, with Rodney and with Kareem mostly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was around the time of Kareem's birthday. It was sometime in November of '94, and we'd all sit there all night during that video, film all day, and then edit all night. I think throughout the editing of that video, there was a span of a week where I slept for 2 days, 4 hours each.
Whoa.
So I did 8 hours of sleep for 5 days
Oh, jeez, dude.
because we were just up all night till the sun came up, and we'd eat something. Then I'd go back and edit until they're like, all right, it's time to go film. And we'd go out
God.
and film and then come back at night to edit after filming all day because it's the end of the video. That's when you
Oh, you're
you
going.
know what I mean? You
Yeah.
got it. Come on, man. I got to make this in there. I got to make this in
Crunch
there.
time.
And everybody wanted it.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, me too.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Got another
everybody
clip.
want-
Was everybody watching the video as it was kind of being coming along?
Yeah.
So everybody would see it, and of course that would hype everybody up.
Yeah, dudes would just sit there. I have footage of them just sitting in that editing bay with Little LeVar.
That's right.
And they're all smoking him out, and they're all smoking, and they're just all and he's going off just saying stuff. I got video footage of him
way.
trying to rap, and I could just film. And then the camera was always there. I'm just camera's behind me, and I'm editing, and Ronnie would just turn it on, just laugh, and just film, run around filming everybody.
It's amazing.
Wow.
So I have that footage. We had a trampoline out back, so we take a little break and go out and just jump on the boards and do like
Oh,
flips
yeah.
and back flips, whatever, just stretch out.
What a great time.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You
what's
said it,
crazy
dude.
is like Rocco like developed like a culture, like which wasn't normal back then probably.
No.
Like,
It was crazy because he was anything he was really into. He got us into. Like for some reason, he would get into archery, and he would have like this like target in the back,
Yeah.
and he had his set, and he'd go back there. You'd see him back there. Oh, I want to try it. Sure, here, and you'll be back there trying it. Like
Just-
real boat, like
Yeah.
serious stuff you can kill somebody with.
Yeah.
And he'll just sit there. And back.
Wow.
He was always really good at stuff like that.
Huh.
So then, yeah, when he got into like golf, really crazy into golf, and he wanted like a little practice putts, whatever, out in the
Putting
front.
green?
Yeah, so he didn't just have one; he had like 4 of them. And
to
him
the
and,
office.
right out front of the office, it went around the corner of the building, and him and JT got into like, and everybody else got into like going out there and like making like a round of it.
Okay.
Like a 9 holes type of thing.
Yeah.
Start here, go there, and then come back around. And so I got into it too. That's how I got into golf.
Oh, seriously?
At a certain point in time. Yeah, whenever he would be into something, then everybody would be into it.
It just seems like Rocco was like a fun guy.
He was a super fun dude.
It's amazing.
Yeah, people always talked about him even before working with him, like Rocco this and Rocco, I hate Rocco, all that. But when I met him, he was always such a cool dude.
Huh.
I mean,
You weren't in business going against them.
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna hate on the guy because he's like a good businessman.
Successful.
And maybe I'm not gonna say, but maybe he screwed you over. But you know what
Well,
I mean.
and he stirred things up a little bit too.
And he stirred things up, but I don't know. Maybe he didn't screw people over. But then again, you know what I mean? Like when you're a businessman and you got an opportunity, he himself would say, "Take it."
Yeah.
Why be a nice guy? You can't be a nice guy in business.
True.
So
True.
if you're not going to be a nice guy in business, someone's going to hate you for not being a nice guy in business.
You've been with World for a long time. Cheese and Crackers. I mean, so many videos. You know. How was it filming Cheese and Crackers?
I don't even think I was supposed to film that.
Really?
Yeah. It was one of those deals where I wanted to be a part of it. I was like, I heard about it, and oh, you guys got a warehouse? You're going to put a mini ramp in there?
Yeah.
I'm down to film this. And Daewon was like, all right, but you got to be there every day. Because at that point in time, I wasn't a filmer anymore. I was a daily editor. I was in there
Okay.
editing commercials, editing sales meeting videos, editing this, that, agenda loops. And you know what I
Gotcha.
mean? That's my job was like, I had been set
got
aside.
stuck in the dungeon.
I was, yeah. After
Okay.
round 3, I was just editing. And I wanted to edit round 3, but I didn't make a huge stink about it.
Did you want to be out there filming, or did you like editing as well?
2 things. It was right around the time when my kids were little.
Okay.
My older boys, back when I just had 2 kids, and so it was a point in time when I had to pick them up, drop them off from school, that kind of deal. And so I couldn't be out filming in Hollywood or the Valley if I had to come back and pick them up from school. My wife's job was always, her schedule was all over,
Okay.
and it still is. She still works for
And you
them.
can't just leave in the middle of day one's trick. He's trying.
Yeah.
I had tried doing that when I went to school. For a while, I was trying to go to film school. I went to LACC because I had heard the Hughes brothers went. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
that
geez.
kind of. Yeah. I had that. And so I was like, yeah, sick, and it's cheap. You know what I mean? Because it's a community college.
Yeah.
During that time, when I was filming the Menace guys, I would have to peace out. I'd be like, hey,
Yeah.
school starts at 6:30, but there's still like another hour of sunlight. But I have to stop. And you know, that's the hour when everybody decides, after filming for 4 hours, now I want to land it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Or they get sparked and they want to try something.
For whatever reason, they're just like, yeah, before I was just kind of throwing the board around. But now I'm serious.
Yeah.
You're like, I got to go to school.
But that's when everybody wanted to land their shit. Like at the very end when the sun was going down.
Yeah.
If you watch all the videos, it's almost like, why does it look like
They're
that?
just waiting for that golden hour.
It's a golden hour.
Yeah.
son.
It's beyond the golden hour sometimes. I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to get more light into this because I didn't bring a light. And then, God, just bump up the iris, gain, everything. It's all grainy, and the sky's not even blue. It's still blue to you, but when you watch, it's white.
Yeah.
You just washed it out completely just
Right.
to try to get them in the video. So yeah, tangent. But what I meant to say was that I would leave, and it wasn't fair to the writers for me
Yeah.
to leave at that moment.
Yeah.
And so not only did I have to like leave school because of that, but now because I have kids, now I had to choose. Before I chose filmers over school.
Yeah.
Now I couldn't choose filmers over my kids.
Right.
So I needed something more where I could leave and come back. And so I would go get them, drop them off.
A little more stable.
It was more stable, and I was able to handle it better.
Yeah.
And I was able to work later too. I was able to just, my hours were like that. I would set my own hours as long as I did a good 8. And then I'd stay there till like midnight and come home.
Okay. Yeah.
And I would go back and forth from the office.
And
so
then-
I was just an editor. So sorry, when Cheese and Crackers started, I wanted to film.
Yeah.
I had been itching. It was 2006. I had been 2 years of not filming. And it was like, I got to film.
Got to get back on the horse.
Yeah. Around that time, is that when World had sold, like Rocco sold World, and then the Hill Brothers kind of came in?
That was way later.
Was it later?
Yeah, they
was
bought
it
it,
98 or 99 or?
Globe bought Dwindle like in June of 2002.
Okay.
And then we moved into the new building over where it is now. We moved into there late 2002.
Because I remember there was a, was it White House Productions or something like that? Or?
That was their production company that handled all the video work.
Yeah.
And so they had their crew already set
Yeah.
up. So once they bought it, I was just a part of their crew.
True.
I wasn't no longer the main dude anymore.
Yeah.
I was kind of set aside, and they had like their really tech dude that knew way more than me. His name was Jean-Jacques. And so that was their main go-to guy. So when they made Round 3, that was their dude they wanted to edit. And I didn't say a word. I probably could have. I probably could have said, hey, you know what, just for the sake of, you know, the tradition maybe. You know,
Yeah.
I was involved in the first 2 videos. Can I be involved in this one? And so towards the end of it, they did, I think, just say, hey, you know what, you can make like a couple bonus feature things. And so they were
They
on
threw you a
this.
bone.
Huh?
Just threw you a bone.
Yeah. But they also needed the help because this dude's like editing every day, and they needed somebody to do this other extra stuff because they do brainstorm sessions. And one of them was back to that video. I think it was Liberty Horror where they had the Fred Brown part. It was actually Jeremy Klein
Yep.
dressed up as a black dude skating,
Yeah.
and like people were thinking that it was a real dude.
Huh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, that's a crazy idea. Let's dress one of these dudes up, or even better, let's have
That's when you had Tyrone.
this.
Oh yeah.
But it's because it went away from that. My initial idea was that's our friend section. Our friend section would be
This mystery dude.
this dude wearing the gear, then that dude wearing the gear, then this dude wearing the gear, and they're all William Patrick, which was our new name.
William Patrick.
William Patrick was supposed to be the new Fred Brown. I got the idea from that old skit they did.
Huh.
And so I thought it'd be good because people could see who it is by their style. Because that's what
Yes.
we did with Jeremy Klein. We're like, that's Jeremy Klein.
Yeah.
Because you could tell from his style. But if you disguise these guys well enough, it's a cool little thing. Like, it's a friend section at the same time. There's a little trick to it. Like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, he does it like this. That's who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my idea. And they took that and it didn't follow through with it. And they were like, we're running out of time. We need William Patrick. And so the dude in charge of the video was like, well, I know a dude and he's, you know, he's down to do this. And he'll just do the whole part. And so they had Casey from the Captain and Casey show do he's the Fred Brown talking thing. But then Tyrone Olsen would put on this gear and wig and go out and skate. And he did some crazy stuff. But as William Patrick.
Yeah.
And the joke of it just didn't work out.
Didn't work.
And
It's almost like, what is this?
Yeah.
Who is this dude?
I don't know why they kept on forcing it to happen, but I think in the end it was because we did use it just because Tyrone did put it down,
Yeah.
and it was unfair for him to go out there all those days
Dude,
and not
yeah.
do anything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is way before social media where you could just post it at least.
Yeah.
Like, no, you couldn't do anything with it.
Like it had to be in the video.
It had to be in the video or no one would see it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what that was. And so, yeah, we were involved in doing that. And so one of the other ideas was to have a 3D video.
Oh, 3D.
So that's what I did for that video.
Okay.
That and I put together Daewon's super part, they called it. It was like it was a compilation of all his footage from like 92 all the way up. Wow. And some clips from 91. So some of the clips in the very beginning of that super part, if it's on the bonus, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's one of the bonus sections with like the Chemical Brothers song.
Huh.
Yeah, at the very beginning,
I have to
that's
go back and watch that.
that's the old 135th Street school, Gardena school, when he first got on World.
Oh, wow.
Before I worked for them.
Huh.
There's a couple of clips in there, I think, where he's manualing to. A couple of clips. Those
Wait,
are
Daewon
from,
manuals? I'm just kidding.
How many wheels does he have on that?
I know, right?
Did you edit Rodney vs. Daewon 1 and 2?
Not one.
Oh, we did 2.
Yeah, one was edited by Winco. So there
Okay.
was like and Trilogy too. But those 2 videos, I did get to put the parts together. They allowed me to put the parts together how I saw fit. And then he would take the parts and then do them on the computer. Because I didn't know how to do the online editing yet. So he wrapped it all up.
So he was using like Premiere or something like that? Or
He was
Avid?
using Avid.
Avid.
Huh. Wow. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, so Trilogy and Round 1 were done that way. But Round 1, I think, was the one where I did actually make the parts, and he just went and
Cleaned it up a little bit.
yeah, he just put he
Fine-tuned it.
He fine-tuned it, but he just digitized it and put it all together the way I thought it should go.
What about the music back then? Like, obviously now music rights are a thing. Where you guys just hear a song like, oh, we're running with this one. And did any music hit you, like, you guys can't sell us anymore? Like,
Maybe now, like later on, yeah, like posting it online, that's when that hit. When we try to post an old video part, that's when you can't because of the music.
Yeah.
But back then, we didn't ask for any music. Not until White House. They were totally like legit.
Yeah.
Go
Like-
by the book.
Yeah, so Round 3, What If, and all the videos that they started handling, those had to be by the book. All those
All the
songs.
music cleared. Yeah.
That's why that selection of songs had to be that selection of songs, because that's what we cleared.
But back then too, you would make a certain amount of copies, sell them, and that was it.
yeah,
So, what is music rights? What are you going to do? We've already sold our shit.
that's what it was like in the first videos.
Those are
Like-
the best videos.
Yeah.
Best music.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wish it was that easy still. You know,
Right?
you
I
just
did
use
too.
whatever you wanted.
Yeah, man.
A lot of
because
shit music these days.
It really is.
Just saying, sock, it's
you got to
just
do what
true.
you got to do.
I know.
You got to do what you got to pay.
Yeah.
You hear some of these songs, like for Cheese and Crackers, for instance, that some of the music, they were asking for so much.
Sure.
And we did have to pay, like for the Relax.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man, they paid for that. They paid for all the songs that are in that.
That'd be pricey.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
man.
bet.
They had Judas Priest.
Sure. Song makes a video, though.
Yeah.
It makes a video, makes a skater, makes you remember that song.
Yeah. It was a good choice. It was sick to have that song in there.
Every time I hear Daewon Song from Lovechild, Daewon Song?
Yeah.
I don't even know the name of the artist. Daewon Song. Daewon Song made that song. No, but you know what I mean, though. It just brings you. It's just that
No, I know.
brings you back to that point in time. That skater. It's incredible.
It's true.
It's a lot. I don't know. Maybe just old. got the OLD, Raj.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But I was going to ask you before we got into all this. I mean, looking back at it now, is there a certain point in time or certain video that you were part of or filming clips for that it just sticks out in your head, like that you're just like super proud of? Or
I felt like Round 2 was what do you call that last thing you do before you graduate college? And that was your
Or your thesis?
Thesis?
Yeah. yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to use that word and not really knowing. I didn't go to college, so well, I dropped
tried
out.
to.
I tried to.
try it. Yeah.
Twice. 3 times.
Right?
Yeah, 3 times I tried. Dropped out.
Third time's a charm.
I felt Round 2 was like me graduating. I felt like when I was done with that one, I mean, I know it was a weird video, though, because it was just all these companies and all these commercials, and I remember getting flack for that. Like, it was
Yeah.
just all these
Dude.
too many commercials.
I went to that premiere. That video was incredible. That's one of my favorite videos. Thank you for making that.
Sick, dude. I remember that. I remember that premiere, man. I was late. How long were you waiting?
I was like 15 at the time. I don't know. It was at Spreckles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just remember watching it and being
Okay.
like, this
What are
is
you
the
running
coolest-
late for?
I was still finishing it.
Oh.
It's a skateboard video.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know.
He's got
Trust
to
me.
drive all the way to San Diego.
So at least at that time, all skateboard videos had to be done the day or maybe the day after the premiere, right?
Yeah, they're still working on it, and they premiere it.
They
and-
premiere it, but somehow they're still working on it.
Yeah.
But no, that's how it was, man. We'd still be working on it last minute. And so these guys were like, come on, where is it? And machines having problems, restart
Oh,
the system,
no.
and all that was going on. And I
Got to
was like,
copy the whole thing onto a tape.
We
to
had a lot of
play at the
hiccups.
premiere.
We had a lot of hiccups. We ended up having to spit it out in sections because the machine was having trouble. And
No
so we
way.
go, okay, this section to here. Now start it right here. Boom. At this time code. And then this section goes on. And then we finally got the master done.
Wow.
It was on Betacam. And we took all of that and the machines and everything. We just drove it. Vince drove me down there. We were in traffic
Stressing.
on the 5, just going, oh. And then we knew we were supposed to be at the theater at a certain time. And here we are in traffic. And we finally get there, and the time it was supposed to be showing, everybody's just sitting there waiting. We got in, and right away, it was just like really stressful looks, and not the people,
Yeah.
but the heads in charge were just like, you
Pissed.
yeah. So we put the machines together, got it all in the played, and it was all haps. Everybody was like, yeah.
You brought the machines in to play the video.
To get the best quality out of it, yeah. Well, it was output to Betacam, and I don't think the theater had a Betacam, so I brought it.
Wait, so you edited each part?
That's why I felt that way, because it was the first video I edited on a computer. It was the first video I edited online. I had learned how to do it, and I wanted to do it, so I did it. They let me in. I was like, cool. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 clips in there that I didn't, like the Drawers commercial.
Oh, okay.
I didn't put that together. And maybe the Speed Demons one. Oh, no, I did that one. But I did pretty much all of them.
Right.
And there was an issue where the ending of Roddy's part, this guy JT was our art director.
John Thomas.
And he was JT John Thomas. Yeah. And so he was really heavily into After Effects, way ahead of me. And so he got the idea to do the rotoscoping and masking out of the tables at the end of his part, so that he could blur some parts and make it look kind of cinematic.
Yeah.
To fake it. But I went and lost the whole project file. Or the video, or the final, basically the main final project file. And so all I had was the very beginnings of it, and I just remember what he did, and I had to recreate it.
Oh, whoa.
And he was pissed.
I bet.
He had put a lot of work. Rotoscoping takes forever, and he put a lot of work into it. And he just looks at me, and he really did think it wasn't going to happen. So he kind of just like shrugged it off and was like, well, maybe it wasn't meant to be. And I was like, I can do it. He goes,
good luck.
yeah, he was like, okay. And I was like, no, I think I can do it. I can do it. He goes, you can. I was like, yeah. He goes, well, we'll see. And then I finally put it together, and he was psyched. He was like, I mean, it wasn't exactly how he had put it together. There was a few parts in there that just, you'll see it. When you see it, not all of them had the effect. Okay. Some of them just had a blur. Yeah. They didn't have the table blur, the table clean and him blurred. You know, it was one of those things where the table was clean and he was blurred coming in. That kind of.
I mean, you're talking about every frame.
Yeah, I had to rotoscope every frame.
Jeez.
Which is basically, for people who don't know, you outline everything like a, like trace it, like connect the dots around it, like you do in Photoshop. But you got to do every frame as you move down. Everything's moving in the. You know what I mean?
You got those adjustments.
Adjust it, and when the camera's moving around, the table's moving around, the body's moving around, doing all kinds of stuff. So you have to do the table and the guy and the whatever else you're masking. But so a couple of them I just didn't do.
Right.
I just did a fade in, blur to fade out. But that video, I learned a whole lot. All in that video.
I remember when Gideon Choi's trick last tricks came on, the crowd went fucking bananas. I was like, that was the first experience I had at premiere where like everyone was excited. You know what I mean? And that was like a really cool experience. So thank you for that.
Thank you for saying that, because that is what I loved about making the videos, knowing that we were going to premiere it, knowing that I was going to hear the reaction of the crowd, because the crowd represented the people that were going to end up buying the video.
Yep.
And so their stoke was what I was going for. And so I'd watch it and go, it needs to end better, or it needs to wow people. It needs to be.
Have you guys ever premiered a video and then went back and made changes?
Yeah. Yeah. That video. Oh, no, Trilogy.
Really?
Oh, Trilogy.
Trilogy, we did a lot of changes on it. Music changes.
I know what you're saying, though. It's almost like you're editing
you
for
changed.
the premiere.
Yeah.
You were editing for a live audience.
Exactly. Because if they are psyched on it, the main audience that is actually going to watch it is going to be psyched on it. And if they're not, we got to do something about it. If it's just crickets the whole night, you better get back there, and before you actually spit that out to a master and send it to duplication, you do something about that.
Right.
And maybe even try for another premiere. It's kind of like a screener, you know what I mean? When people do those test screeners, that was our test screener. But we always kind of hit it.
It's amazing.
Well, it's because of the writers. I mean, look, you can't say, like he said, Gideon Choi's footage, that's what sold it. You know, when people watched it, they went, whoa, Gideon Choi, so underrated.
Oh, yeah.
Hell, dude, he's so sick.
We can go off on that, too.
Big fan. No, but I like the aspect of it. I never even thought about it that way, about editing it for a live audience, you know, and having that in the back of your mind while you're editing something. It's fascinating. I never even considered something like that.
That's what I always thought when editing a video, if I was the one editing it.
Imagine how good Nothing But the Truth would have been if they
thought about
listened to the audience in the premieres.
Well, Raj.
Just saying. Imagine.
Well, we were talking about cheese and crackers. You doing your editing thing, and then you asking, you wanted to film cheese and crackers.
Yeah, so that's, I think whoever was in charge of it was, setting it all up. They got the warehouse, they were putting the ramps together, and I wanted to be a part of it, but nobody came to me and said, like, hey, you're going to be the guy shooting it, or you're going to make this, or can you do this?
Did they already have somebody to film it?
I don't know if they did or not. I just know that I wasn't the go-to guy because I was at that point already kind of relegated to being the guy in the corner just doing like whatever they needed.
Edits, yeah.
Like, hey, clean this up here. Hey, can you throw a slow-mo onto this? You know, and I was just that dude now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I needed that position as I was saying earlier.
Yeah, with the kids and everything, for sure.
I needed the 9 to 5 type, or, you know, be able to go to the office and stuff.
Right.
So when I asked, you know, who's shooting it or whatever, and then Daewon was like, well, you want to? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, you can be here every day though? And I'm like, that I'll be here. He's like, okay, well then just come down. Like, I think at first he probably didn't even believe me either. But he's like, just come down and shoot then. You know, we could probably, wouldn't hurt to have second angle maybe.
Sure.
So, yeah, what I would do is I would edit during the day, and then at some time in the afternoon, I'd get out, go get the kids, drop them off at the sitters or whoever needed to watch them. And then I'd go straight from there to Long Beach. That's where the warehouse was.
Okay.
And it was like an old auto body place where they would paint their cars or whatever. And it was so dirty, dude. It was junk. What I had heard is that it was like a crack house for a bit or something.
Oh,
like
wow.
a meth lab. It was like a meth lab or something.
Jeez.
Because it had been abandoned for a while, and somebody like took it over and made it a meth lab.
Okay.
Something like that. It was a dead rat that was just rotting in the corner. It was just dusty. It was like you could just, you know.
They try to clean it up a little bit, and
I think they just swept the area where the ramp was, and everything else was gritty.
that's where all the
dirty.
tires came from and all the like
That's
shit
what-
that was around.
That's why there was car parts everywhere.
Yeah.
Like there was like doors and like hoods and tires.
Okay.
But yeah, so then I started like showing up every day.
Oh.
That's all it was. I was just showing up.
Okay.
And-
Would those sessions go into the night? Late night.
You know how skating is.
Yeah.
We just skate until they got tired.
Yeah.
Because they'd land something and take a break and go, okay, I think we could do this now.
Because it was
And
all
then-
lit up. I mean, you had the lights and everything, right?
Yeah, when you have full control like that, you have the keys. You can be there as long as you want.
Right.
Then you're going to be there as long as you want.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we were there. I was there until they felt like it.
Wow.
I got to skate it with them sometimes. It was fun.
It's amazing.
So it was really
It's a
cool.
Great video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy video.
Seriously.
I don't think they expected it to do as well as it did.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I remember at the end of the wrap up of that video, one of the heads of the White House production, like the coordinator lady, like I don't think they really looked at me as somebody that could make a video. I think they really thought of me as just the kid in the corner that did this. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would, like I said, I was like, I needed that position. So I got pushed over to that secondary position of just, you know. So when it was done and they saw the reaction of it all, and it was, you know, and I put it all together, and she goes, congratulations. Or she said something like, hey, you know, good job. Like, really good. Like, she was surprised. Like,
This is Sock over here.
the look in her eye was like a surprised look. Like, good job. You actually did a really good job on it. I didn't say anything. I was just like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I think she thinks that was my first video.
Did somebody else edit it, or did you edit it?
It was a mix. That one was
Okay.
a mix because Daewon had started editing it too. And again, it was one of those things where I wanted to edit it, but Daewon wanted to edit it. So he was doing it, and he was like, he had most of it, kind of skeletal part of it done, and he had most of his parts and all that done. Like his own part, he edited.
Okay.
But like, you know, because there's like in the bonus section, like a section where it's just his footage.
Oh.
Was he doing like on iMovie?
No, he knew how to edit. He did it on Final Cut.
Wow.
But I think it got to the point where it was just a little bit too much, and he wanted me to do it, so I finished it off. So I think he got parts of it done, and I finished off like the rest of the 3/4 of it.
Wow.
And yeah, it worked. It was really good. I liked how it worked out. The songs and everything. The
Yeah.
way-
Everything was great.
Retta being in it.
How was it filming those guys? Like, were they competing against each other? Like, did it seem like that when it was going on too?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was happening? Like, they're watching the footage from you of what they had?
No, they were skating together.
They were always there.
Oh, okay.
They were there together. A couple of nights, there would be nights where Daewon was only there.
Okay.
And then maybe sometimes Haslam was only there. But most of the time, like, they were there together. Like, when they'd set up stuff, like, hey, let's do this. They'd call it the mousetrap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, like the game, the mousetrap, where something
Totally,
goes here, then
you
goes
gotta
there,
do
then
the
goes
whole
in and
thing,
around,
yeah.
and it sets one thing off. They would do that. Like a tire would roll down, knock something out. And so they wanted to do weird stuff like that, like just set a weird, like, manual pad up to the wall so he can get out of the ramp and manual it and come back.
Yeah.
or just like do something so that they can roll in and use the lip as a curb, come in and grind that and then enter the ramp.
Yeah.
So they all those ideas to put a hippie jump bar on the top of the vert ramp of one of the at the corner.
Yeah.
How crazy was that? When he said that, I didn't want to say like, hey, that's not going to happen, or that's crazy, because I just want to see him do it.
Let these guys do their thing.
Swinging tires.
Did you ever give advice like, oh, you should put that there, or is it all mostly just them just coming up?
Most of it was them. I might have put a little input. I just can't remember.
Yeah. What a fun video to be a part of.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Man.
It was a cool time in my life. I needed it. I needed to be out there filming every day again. I needed to like.
You were missing that.
Validation.
Also the connection with the dudes.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, here you are just in the office now, and you've kind of lost that connection with the streets and filming with these guys.
You only see them when they come to get bored.
Sure.
Yeah, I was way more connected again with Haslam, because before that I wasn't always filming Haslam. Haslam would film a lot more with other filmers, and like a lot with like Brandon or Hoops or other filmers, like for round 3.
Right.
But I filmed him a lot on that video. Super cool dude. I love hanging out with him.
Great guy.
Great sense of humor. He's just a really cool dude to hang out with.
Huh.
And then Daewon, of course. Dude,
Of course.
The homie. You can't go wrong with hanging out with Daewon. He's the coolest dude too.
Hell
Dude
yeah.
is cool. Yeah, but we had a lot of friend invites type of thing, like where we always try to keep it hush though. We didn't want it to blow out to like everyone show up.
Mini ramp sesh.
Because if you let like a certain amount of people in, then you can't say no to others, right?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of like curb that. Otherwise, you'll never get to skate it.
That dude comes with this dude, then that dude, then there's a whole car, and then there's 3 cars pulling up.
Then every night people be like, let's go skate that ramp every night.
Sure.
And we
Can I
had
get a key?
But also, too, I feel like that, yes, I feel like that would happen. But also, too, it's like Daewon and Chris Haslam. I feel like some skaters would be like, I'm not going there. Like, those dudes are doing their thing over there, you know?
Those are the smart ones.
Yeah, those are the smart ones.
But I don't know. We didn't know. We didn't want to chance it.
Of course.
So we just went like, it'd be better if we just kept it under.
Hush, hush.
Yeah. So we did for a while, but we would every once in a while go, like, let's have somebody come over and just skate, and let's film them do a 1 trick or 2 tricks.
How long did you guys have the warehouse for?
So I think it was like 6 months.
Really?
Okay.
They might have had it longer, but the span of filming was like from December to June,
Yeah.
like end of May, I think. And then June was like editing and still like last minutes and stuff.
Sure,
So it was like 6 to 7 months, the whole
Would they
thing.
ever just get tired of just skating there?
I think they might have.
Yeah.
I think Daewon might have. I mean, towards the end, you're like, when you get to the point where you watch all your footage and go, damn, dude, I think I need this. And then when you think about it, you're like, I got to go back there again.
Yeah.
Because after, it's fun. But then at the end of it all, when it becomes like really, really work, you could see the stress levels rise for a second.
I think those two were perfect to do that video, though, because Daewon is super creative, as Haslam is also.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
them together coming up with these things, it's like it was just a perfect storm.
What was the reason behind the name Cheese and Crackers?
Okay, it wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah, it
called
was gonna.
that.
Didn't they want? I think Haslam said something about this,
Yeah.
right? It was supposed to be something else.
It was supposed to be called Peanut Butter and Jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly, and something else was already taken or something.
Again, I think it goes right back to
It was like a BMX thing or something like that. Or
snowboarding. I think.
Snowboarding. Yeah.
Snowboarding.
The contest.
There was a snowboarding contest called the Peanut Butter and Jelly Jam,
Yeah.
and they would make a video for it. So it would be competing with the name Peanut Butter and Jelly Jam as a video in the action sports
Category.
market or whatever.
Right.
And again, that also goes back to, we could have just named it that and probably got away with it, but we're talking about Globe's White House Productions, which has to have everything legit, and we can't leave anything to chance. You can't just go, they probably won't care.
Yep.
Because they might.
They might have been in copyright.
That part of it is what would sketch you out. So no, it has to change. You guys got to change the name. You can't call it what something else is already called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had filmed the whole skit, even with Rada eating. He would slap together like peanut butter and jelly and go peanut butter and jelly, and he'd just like
Yeah.
and that's the whole skit was like filmed that way. It was the whole intro was filmed to say Chris and Daewon in or whatever, the thing pops down and says presents all that. It'll be like he knocks the
If you could
dominoes
find
down.
that'd be awesome if you posted that.
What?
Find that intro and post it.
I have it.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
I have the footage of him saying that he's on the he's sitting on the edge of the ramp and he's slapping peanut butter and jelly together. He even knocks a few things over. I think he knocked like milk over or something like that. Yeah, he had a glass of milk or something
That's rad.
that he was eating it with. But yeah, he slapped it all together, and as Reda style, he just
Yeah.
because they wanted him to say it. He was supposed to intro the video. He was supposed to just say it, peanut butter and jelly. And like that's what's going to start it. But the whole thing was leading up to that. It would be like almost the little dominoes, then presents. It wasn't supposed to present cheese and crackers. That was like a little animation that Eric Woolham, the artist for Almost, put together because the name was changed.
Yeah, you got to change. Yeah. Who chose the name? Do you remember? Cheese and Crackers?
I came up with it.
Did you?
Wow.
Sock, look at you.
Well, because it was it was peanut butter and jelly, so we all went off thinking like something and something else. This and that, and I was
Beer and
thinking,
pretzels.
That it could have been beer and pretzels if I thought of that, but I thought
Milk and cookies.
Milk and cookies could have been it. And we already had the milk spilled, but
you had the clip. Yeah, could have been good.
They thought it was cool.
Okay.
And they're like, you know what, we'll run with that. And then Willem was like, yeah, I can get like little blocks of cheese and cut out the name out of it. And we're like, that works.
Perfect.
And it worked out.
Cheese and Crackers.
And that's why it ended up being called Cheese and Crackers, just because it could have been called Peanut Butter and Jelly, but these guys I think were too worried about.
Yeah, got to be careful.
Yeah.
Right. How did everything change from when Rocco was there to after he left? And it was just, was there a different vibe?
I think it had a lot to do. This is just my opinion.
Sure.
Because I'm the filmer there and I just make the videos. I was never in any of the meetings. I didn't know anything until they needed to tell me.
Right.
So from the outside looking in, I saw after everybody had left, the second wave especially, when they all started chocolate.
Yeah.
And that was when I think he just started kind of like losing it because his stoke was always, these kids are sick. And you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like similar to what I was saying earlier, that I always wanted to be the sponsor. Like he might have been like that. He might have been stoked to be the sponsor.
And then everybody bounces.
But then everybody does that to you, and it kind of takes the fun out of it. Like, okay, I'm going to put all my effort into it, and then all of a sudden these guys are going to peace out.
And now I got to rebuild a whole new thing.
And we did have to rebuild a whole new thing. And he wasn't involved in the rebuild. Rodney was. And Rodney was probably feeling the same way too, but he had to do, you got to do what
you got to do it.
You got to do it. You got to build a new team, start over.
Right.
And we did. And then shortly after that was when McKee started the new graphic style. And so they ran with that. And he would come into the office every once in a while. I remember seeing him there. But he wasn't
day to day.
He wasn't day to day. I remember that. And I don't know. I might be wrong, but I don't know how much involvement he had. I just know that they always had a team of dudes. They had like the accountant. They hired a dude that was in charge of everything. Especially when Dwindle started, when they started calling it Dwindle, like right around 98. Yeah, they had some guy named Rob Valerio. They had like a president. Oh, yeah. Because before
Did
it was
he work
just
at bands too, Rob Valerio?
Yeah, I don't know, but I just know that at first it was just Rocco and Rodney doing everything. And then like other dudes would brand manage their brands. Like Nodis would just run 101.
Sure.
And then like Oblo would run Prime.
Crazy.
And then JT did a lot. JT ran a lot. I mean, he was behind the idea from a lot of the ads. Like for all the companies, he would like have something to do with all the companies. Like a lot of people don't know that, but he had a lot to do with what graphics were going on what. Because he was in charge. He was the director. He was the art director.
Okay. Wow.
So he was in charge of all the artists that were working under him. This is, of course, after Cliver was more of like a big brother guy.
Man, such a rich history there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Shaolin.
Yeah.
Shaolin was tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's such a rad thing just to be part of all that, I mean, part of Lovechild and 20 Shots up to Cheese and Crackers and the whole thing. It's amazing, Sock.
I was just talking to Rodney the other night about something, and we got off, because when we talk, me and him would just go off for hours, and I got to get home, and he's got to go skate.
Okay.
He's not there to go talk to me. He wants to skate.
Right.
But it's like 2 or 3 in the morning. We're just going on and on talking, and I remember, because he wanted to, catch up, so how are things? Because he knows, and like, obviously. But I tell him, but he wanted to know how I am. Like, how are you with this? Like, how are you taking all this? And then I just told him, like, you know what? Honestly, well, besides thanking him.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. My honest feeling about it was that a lot of people live their whole lives working a crazy job that they don't really like and left their dreams behind. They didn't get to live their dreams. And then they hit their 40s or something, and then they have their midlife crisis and all that, whatever. Okay? I just feel like I already got to live my dream. I got to do what I was supposed to be. You know, a lot of people have that issue where they just work and go, who am I?
Yeah.
Or what am I as a man? Or what did I do? You know what I mean? You only are what you did. You know, if you're a mechanic, you only are a mechanic. You are what you are. Like, yeah, man, well, I wanted to be a lawyer. And you know what I mean? There's that whole like title, like Sir this or whatever.
Absolutely.
You know, like
Yeah.
CEO, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm a doctor and my son's a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like
Podcast host.
right?
Yeah.
But you at the end you are what you do. And for instance, if all you did was like a certain menial task or whatever, if you're just the dude that sweeps this, that, and the other, and then at the end you got a problem, you know what I mean? You're like 40 something years old, you're like, this is all I am. You know what I mean? Some people have to deal with that. And then they have that issue of like, well, now I got to do what I want to do, or now I got to dream. I got to follow my dream. Or, you know what I mean? You get that talk. You get people talking like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
And so the only thing I can take out of those 25 years is that I got to do it already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I got thrown into it. I didn't ask for it.
that's true.
I wasn't even I wasn't even my plan. And at the time, at first I was an artist, and that's what I wanted to go to school for. But main reason I didn't become an artist is because I screwed up in high school, and the school that I applied to go was an art college in Arizona, and they accepted me, and I was already ready to go, but I didn't have my high school diploma.
Huh?
And you need a high school diploma.
Yeah.
You need to graduate. You can't just go show up after dropping out of high school, whatever, right? So I had to finish, but skating. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So then I was like filming and filming and filming. I didn't even get my high school diploma until 93. I went back 3 years later to get it,
Wow.
4 years later.
Okay.
I graduated in 89. I walked and everything, but they didn't give me the diploma.
Not
They
enough
gave me-
credits and stuff.
I missed out on like 3 classes worth. And those 3 classes kept me. So I was supposed to do something totally different. And even though I did start working as an artist right away after high school, I ended up being called in to do video editing. I mean, I ended up being called in to go film.
Right.
And from there, it just went off to like filming everybody, to like making the videos, to editing, to end up 25 years worth of working in skateboarding. And
It's a blessing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I didn't ask for it. It just happened to
Yeah.
me. And I didn't say no. It's just like, oh, of course.
I think a lot of
Go for the ride.
I
Yeah.
think that same thing happens to a lot of people, though. A lot of these skateboarders kind of skateboarders fell into it, you know, and it just organically just kind of happens, you know. There weren't really going after the pro thing. You see that a lot nowadays, right? Everybody's after this dream of, I mean, the dream's there, right?
Yeah.
But you see kids just, how do I do? I want to get sponsored.
They're too hungry.
Too hungry.
People like you, man, you just love what you do.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why you did all this, is because for the love of skateboarding. And that's very honorable, dude. It's very
Thanks,
cool.
dude.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking rad. You changed a lot of people's lives, dude.
Part
You
of
influenced-
history.
Yeah, you influenced a lot of people like myself and these guys over
Oh,
here
yeah.
for sure. And the listeners, too. So,
That's a good thing right there. Think about it. You know
Bro,
what I mean?
I'm telling you,
That's,
fucking Lovechild, Tim and Henry's, like that shaped my skating, you know?
And you loving-
100,000%.
and you loving what you did made us love skateboarding even more.
Yeah.
Like, so it took us in the same direction. I mean, I didn't go to college either, dude. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just here, hanging out with my buddies, talking
Pushing
with
a
you.
button.
Yeah, pushing a button, dude. So it's like it's pretty rad how skateboarders, like especially in our generation, have the same idea that you just fall in love with it and let it take you wherever it goes. And it's weird that we're all sitting here now.
It's true.
but yeah, so now I'm like content to just, you know, do my
Adult thing.
adult thing. You know, I have to finish raising my kids, and
Sure.
like we did go for another set, so now we do have that responsibility.
Okay.
And so being unemployable for so long, and I was like really stressed, and so I got lucky that I ended up where I'm at right now, if anything, because I could have still gotten an even lower paying job than that. But it is cool, man. It's not bad. It's just, you know, it's a little bit therapeutic, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
you just sit there and zone out and just make valves.
Oh, is that what? Yeah, that's
I
what you do now.
That's what I do now.
Okay.
I make what they call air suspension valves.
Oh,
They put them in like semi trucks.
and you enjoy it.
I love it. And I work the second shift, which is like all the younger kids. They're all like half my age. And they're all cool, man. It's like hanging out with skaters sometimes.
Does any of them skate?
I think a couple of them might.
Were you like, yeah, Lovechild, that was me?
No, they're young. They don't know. I don't think they know any of the videos that I worked on.
Really?
Because they're younger kids.
I don't know. Some of these younger kids though, they go and do their homework.
They might as
man.
well revert.
Yeah.
Some of them maybe, but I don't know if these kids do. They're young. They're like between
they are?
20 and 25.
Okay.
So
Wow.
they're kids to me.
Huh.
But they're cool, man. Super cool. But like, I'm talking about the dudes that aren't even skaters. Like, they're all the same vibe. They're all really cool and just hang out, you know. And it's refreshing. It's like a fountain of youth.
Yeah.
Get to hang out with them and just like make vows.
Yeah, seriously.
Just shoot the shit and just hang out.
Sounds like a good time.
It is. It's just the hours suck because you get home at midnight.
Oh, really?
But at midnight is when I do like some of my extra work because I do still have to do more because the pay isn't enough. So I'm thankful that dudes at Dwindle still like give me work to do. Like Chet goes, here, I want you to put this video together.
Oh,
And it
perfect.
was sick, so I put that last Autotelic video.
Oh,
I put that together for
dope.
them. Yeah.
So do you go into Dwindle or do you do it at home?
At first, I did do it at home.
Okay.
But it was really hard to. I had to contend with like kids jumping on my lap and wanting to play. Get off! I want to play video games. Like, this is a computer.
I'm
system.
working here.
I'm working. This is for me to work on.
Yeah.
But since I had already let them play video games on it, they didn't want to. But yeah, so then there's that. Then getting up to feed them or cook something, or then my wife comes in and goes, "Jump off that. Let's go eat somewhere." That kind of stuff.
You need your editing space.
You need to be in an office away from all that. So
Right.
they were cool enough to let me still use the old photo room. The
Downstairs.
old photo room
Yep.
downstairs.
Yep.
So that's where I have a system set up.
Okay.
And everything was cool. Eric was really cool about it too. Like, he's the new filmer.
Oh, wow.
And so I just go in there and at night afterwards or before I go to work.
Gotcha.
And if I leave El Segundo at 2, I get to work by 3.
Okay. Wow.
So that's what I do now.
Listen, bro, we're sitting here with Sock. Guy's responsible for some of my favorite videos of all time, bro. Even the couple clips you filmed in Questionable. You know what I'm saying? That video shaped my life as well.
I've got a few clips in Chocolate and
Wait, have you ever
Girl,
filmed Chris before?
We were talking about it before the show.
Background.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we technically did.
Yeah.
But I don't think we ever filmed a clip. You took a photo of me switch-alling over this bar that myself, you, Daewon, Daniel were all skating.
I have an Instagram clip of that still on my feed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Of the clip
It's
of
of
the
the photo.
photo. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
you gotta send that
crazy.
to me, bro. I'll post it. Actually, my back foot was coming off, I think, a little bit.
Oh, my
Could say it was a
phone
switch
sucks.
flip, maybe.
Yeah, sorry, dude. That was my timing. Because, there's a timing
No.
to everything. And if I would have just a split second later, your board would have caught up. Because it did.
But you know what, though?
In that split second, your foot was a little
For
off.
me back then, like, I was so stoked. I didn't care what it was to have a photo in a magazine. You know what I mean? Like, it was amazing. That's what... It's a dream, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm skating here with Daewon and Daniel Castillo and Sock. Like, that's what it's all about.
What did Daniel do? Like a switch crooks or something, huh?
I don't know. I probably never made it in anything. I'm just kidding, Raj. Daniel's my boy, dude. He's probably watching this. Hey, Daniel.
I wanted to ask one thing.
Go ahead, bro.
Because the camera you have behind your head right there, we were talking earlier, you said, like, were you the first one to start doing screen grabs? Or, like, from in the...
I mean, Big Brother was like one of the first ones to really push screen grabs.
It was more Big Brother. It wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was Big Brother was probably the first. I think so. I mean, I could say that.
They were taking video clips, screen grabbing it, and turning it into a sequence in a
Yep.
magazine.
I think they're the first.
I used to love those.
I wasn't the first to do it for them, but that was in the first issue, the one with like Shiloh on the cover and his little tiny one.
Yeah.
And they would just get my footage and do it. And I can't remember how many of them I was involved in, but it was a simple process.
Yeah.
You would just take, I think, a very, 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 very early version of Premiere, or maybe whatever it was before it was called Premiere. Whatever it was kind of like a computer version of like editing.
Mm-hmm.
Non-linear editing, whatever.
Okay.
And so we would just digitize the clip and then start going like frame by frame. And you were able to export the frame you were on.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take that, open up in Photoshop, deinterlace it so you knock out one of the fields, and then you clean it up with the whatevers, and then you have it, name it 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and I would give it to them. And then they would put it in there and they would lay it out like if it was a photo.
Gotcha.
And so that's what I would do I know from the second issue from then on until they left the building.
Huh. Okay.
And it was the only time I was ever in a mag too myself. Was in Big Brother.
What were we doing?
Vero flip up the 4 at Courthouse.
Vero flip up the 4 at Courthouse.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sock? I did not know that.
Well, it's because I had varial flips down, right? But like I was telling Raj earlier that I was just pop shoving everywhere.
Okay.
And so that day I got to skate. We were done early, I guess, and so I wanted to pop shove it up it. So I was doing that, and Guy wanted to film it.
Guy filmed it.
Yeah, Guy wanted to film the pop shove it, and he's like, dude, I'll film it. Get up there. Come on, Sock, you can do it.
Okay.
Come on, dude, do it. And I'm just like, all right. He's like, you got this. Come on, man. This is sick. And he's filming it, and then I pop shove it up it, kind of easy. And I was like, but pop shove it? No, we're talking about...
Let's do it in a line.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, it's got to be better than this.
Got to
And
be a bit, yeah.
So I was thinking I could probably varial flip it. And he's like, yeah, do it. And so I just went, and I was almost not going to do it because I couldn't get it all the way up there. I was barely getting up there.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes clipping the edge. And then I felt bad because I know how it is to film people for a while. And the guy probably wanted to go do something else. So I was like, oh, dude, I don't know. He's like, no, dude, don't worry about me, man. I'll film it. And I was like, all right. And he was.
Yeah, he's always good like that.
Yeah.
He's in for the mission.
Yeah, he was in for it. So he's like, okay, cool, I'll film it. And so I went and finally landed it. And then I don't know how somebody there saw it and talked about it and was like, dude, we'll put, I think Tremaine.
Oh, yeah?
Tremaine's like, we got to put this in, so he put it in.
Did you know he was going to put it in, or did you see it in the mag?
No, he told me.
Oh, he told you.
Yeah,
Okay.
he wanted me to put it in. So I was like, yeah, dude, sick. No way you'll put it in. He's like, yeah. So he put it in.
Sick.
So
Wow.
then he had that crazy caption, and it just happened to be the issue where they all went on a trip to Hustler.
Oh, sick.
And the article for that trip happened to be the next page next to my varial flips.
That's amazing.
Couldn't really show my proud moment to everybody in the family.
Why are there 5 pages missing here?
Just photocopy it.
Yeah.
I should have just tore them out.
Yeah.
Huh?
Nah. Listen, Sock, this is incredible. bro.
Sorry, this went on too long.
Dude,
Oh, no.
Should we talk about the New Deal stuff?
That's where I was going at. Like, yeah, so that's what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
So I go and edit, and then for a while I was working on the Dark Star video, but then now I'm working on with Steve Douglas, who I used to work with when he was at Dwindle doing 30shot.com, which kind of failed.
Okay.
But yeah, so then working with him with that, then he thought of me when he wanted to have he wants to, I guess they're reissuing
All the
New
stuff.
Deal for the 30th anniversary of it.
Right.
Because it's 2020, so it's...
So you
coming
went
up.
in and remastered.
Well, I did just, they gave me the original masters so we can redigitize them all and like
Put
do
them online.
re-edits and
Do you clean it up at all, or
trying to, yeah.
How does that work? Is there a program you spit it through, or I mean?
No, all I can do is we took it to a post house where they do the transfers, and we take it into Premiere and just edit it, and I just have like, you know, whatever color correction tools I have in Premiere.
Okay, gotcha.
But I mean, you can't really do much with that footage because it is so low res compared to now. You can,
Yeah.
right?
There's like
But
no
you're-
information there.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
talking about the information. That's the difference in it, is that there's only so much pixel information in it, and if you start opening it up too much, you start looking like it's posterizing
It's all
it.
muddy.
Yes.
It
Yes.
starts getting all muddy and crazy. So there's not much you can do to it. We're having that issue, and just today I have to go drop off a tape to go get redigitized because the copy of 1281 I'm working on sucks.
That's cool to be involved in that, though. That's
Yeah,
some
man.
history shit right there too.
I'm psyched because you were just talking about backgrounds.
Yeah.
Okay, remember I told you we used to film in 90, 91 when I was filming. And one time we were at 7th Street in San Pedro, and Templeton and Vallely were there skating together. And I remember I would sneak up behind them and try to like sneak up and try to get a clip of them.
Different
Like,
No way.
They were filming and I'm sitting there poaching. I tried skating with a fisheye on and just like trying to sneak in and get like a clip of him.
Did they say anything?
They never said they were really cool about it because they could have told me to get the hell out of there and stop it. But I mean, I was just rook, so I didn't know any better. Now, yeah. But so, anyways, as I'm cutting these best of clips, I'm seeing myself in the background.
No way.
I was like, "Whoa, that's me!"
You didn't even notice before? You had no idea?
No, I mean, you know, these clips just go right by you. But
Sure.
when you're working on the clip, you're working on it. You're looking at it, the whole thing.
Yeah.
There's
You're
me
noticing
poaching
everything.
right there.
That was me. Yeah, it was my A1 Meats shirt and everything.
Oh, it's funny.
Wow.
About New Deal, though, back when I was a Castle kid, they had played us the promo one day at some ceremony that they had. And we were super psyched on it. I was psyched on the whole look of it all, like
Yeah.
the crayon look and just the New Deal. You know what I mean? Because everything was a New Deal back then.
Yeah.
Every company around that time was just away from the old deal, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was a cool name for it. And I liked the graphics and all, and watched the first video, and we were psyched.
Yeah.
I
I think
was like-
everybody was.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was psyched on that.
So it's cool to be working with it, that they called me up to go and work on it.
It's amazing.
I'm so down, like, down to help them in any way. Like, they were really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool to approach me and work. I got to finally meet Andy.
Andy Howell.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
He's a great
sick.
dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, I met Andy, and then and Paul Schmidt.
Yeah.
And then talking to Paul, you guys had him on?
Not
No,
yet.
not yet.
Dude, the guy says stories that I'm like, well, really?
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
like,
I've talked to him. He's got the stories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like even doing the interview the other day with like Steve Douglas about the first 3 videos, because that's what we're doing. We're only releasing the promo, Useless Wooden Toys, and
1281.
1281.
Okay.
And like a DVD. And then right now I'm kind of like doing remixes of all the best stuff to put as like an extra.
Gotcha.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe some interviews with the main 3 dudes. And so he's ending up his whole story with like, yeah, well, after 1281, I was done. I'm done with editing, and I'm passing the torch on. I'm going to leave it to Josh Friedberg, who's more than capable. And then he says, and we even like had him doing all kinds of stuff. We even had an idea to make a zine too, because their whole thing is all 3 of them before starting New Deal were all into zines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were all into making zines. It
Yeah.
was
I think
cool.
Andy Howell was making them when he was like 13 years
Yeah.
old.
So he ends off talking about how they wanted Friedberg to start this like magazine, like zine thing, like with New Deal. And he couldn't, he was just like, dude, this is kind of frame grabs. Why are we doing this? Why don't we just come out with all this footage in a tape version of a magazine instead? And boom, 411.
411. Isn't it funny how just shit happens? Like there was no master plan. Like there was no like, hey, here's a business plan for our new video magazine that we're going to do.
It's like, wouldn't it be cool?
Yeah.
And then do it.
Yeah.
That's how things started.
Gotta love skating, man.
Yeah.
Man, Sock, been through it all, man. You've done it all, bro.
Oh, I forgot one thing that I thought was really cool.
What's that?
You said, what am I proud of?
Yeah.
Earlier. And I remember episode 6 of United by Fate. That edit I thought was pretty cool. I liked it.
Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't have thought that that's what you were going to say, but
I don't know. Like that video was weird because it came out episodical, and then like people just didn't. It wasn't one big video, and
Yeah.
it didn't come out. All of them had like little pieces that would come out, and we didn't know how many people would actually see it. And,
right.
You know what I mean? Like some people would be like, United by Fate. What was that?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, wait, you should. I wouldn't say it, but I'm thinking in my head like you should know. But some people just didn't watch it.
Yeah.
That's the nature of how videos at that time started becoming something that you post online, and some would watch, some wouldn't.
It's true. Yeah.
Back in the day, in my day, it was like everybody watched your videos.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Until the tape wore out.
Right?
Yeah.
But now it's like when you have the choice, back when that's the only thing that came out that year, it's different. But when you have a choice of like a gazillion videos, you're just like, oh, yeah, that video, I didn't even know that
Yeah.
came
Might
out.
have skipped, might have just not even known about it.
Yeah. But that was episode 6.
It's amazing.
I was involved in the editing of the skate part of all those episodes, just the skate part of
Oh,
it.
sick.
And they were involved in skate in the like the Black Van skit part of
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
And so at the end, I think they were probably tired of it also. But that video wasn't so much the Black Van. That was it was a trip we did up to Ventura to some like abandoned refinery. So it was all tagged up, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, they hired like the dudes from Built to Grind or something like
Built
that.
to shred.
Built to
Built to Shred.
Yeah. Huh.
So those dudes set up a couple of ramps and made it look like the stuff was there. And so we skated all that and filmed and made episode 6.
It's amazing, man. Sock, dude. It's incredible, bro. It's incredible.
Yeah.
We could go on all day.
I know.
You know,
sorry.
you can go back and talk about Lovechild all day. Trilogy, 20
We didn't get
shot.
to talk about much about Trilogy either. Sorry.
No, bro. We,
Remember I told you guys the song parts? Yeah.
when we
Like
touched,
changing Daewon's song.
But that's in his
Yeah.
it's in his in Daewon's
Documentary,
documentary,
yeah.
when we talk about the
Oh.
Daewon song part.
That's right.
Where like we had to switch the song out.
yeah.
But we switched a lot of songs out.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure even for re-releases, you had to like change the song completely.
We should re-release that whole thing with the old songs in it. Because it premiered with totally different songs.
Crazy.
I'd rather see that.
Did you realize that? Because you said you were at the Trilogy premiere?
No, I was at
Oh,
round
okay.
2.
Oh, okay.
Trilogy was like the year I started skating.
Because
So-
yeah, the premiere version of that one was totally different than what people got.
Really?
Huh.
Was there what you were saying? There was a bunch of different songs in there.
Why
Yeah.
did you change it?
Is there a copy of it?
They wanted to.
Huh.
There's a copy of it.
Put it.
What? Yeah,
I don't know where to
please.
put it. What do I? It's a full length video.
I'll watch it right here, dude. We'll have a premiere here.
Put it on. Do it
Can't
like
put it on YouTube.
No,
It's
put it
all
on
the
YouTube
songs.
as unlisted or private, and then just put the link out there on like Slap message board and let kids find it.
No, just send it to us and then we'll send it to people. Yeah.
Well, just tell people don't share it and people will share it.
Wait. So you have this?
Mm-hmm.
So was it different music, or was there other tricks that like got pulled out of the video?
Just music, I think. If any tricks got pulled out, I can't remember that because I wasn't the main editor.
Sure.
I wasn't the final editor. That was Wing.
Okay.
So he's the one that finally edited that video. But I did get the call to do a couple of changes. And one of them was Gideon didn't like the song that I chose. I had a song by War.
Oh, really?
Me and Baby Brother.
Oh.
Oh,
Me
whoa.
and Baby Brother.
Yeah.
No
Used to
way.
run together.
Yeah.
You had that as
I
your
had
song?
that as his song. He wanted to put Sugar, and it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
that
was a
good.
really good song.
Hell yeah.
But that was his choice. He wanted it. He's like, "Can I switch it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So we put that song in there. And since we were already doing it, they were like, "Let's switch out a lot of this hip hop. It's way too much hip hop."
Yeah.
And it did have a lot of hip hop.
That song, the ending to that song when he's in the hallway and he switched Trey at the end, it was like a perfect ending with that song.
Dude, I tried to keep it steady on that shot. I tried so hard. We were filming for a while, and I did have a steady shot. But by the time he landed it on that particular one, I was sitting in this position for so long that I was getting like, oh, and I was like, I gotta move. So I kind of like moved position. But when I did that, it wasn't the same position. My arm was in a weird spot.
So when he did it.
I wasn't as steady.
Yeah.
Because you have to put your elbow somewhere to keep it as steady as you can. And on that position, by the time he went over to where he was at, my arm was floating. And when your arm is floating, the only thing holding it steady now is where the eye cup hits your eye. And so I'm just
shaking it.
so you could tell. But,
I got to go back and watch that.
I still love that clip, dude. I love that clip so much.
I was trying to get something out of that. I was trying to get all cinematic. I was trying to do something where I could see him because there were these bushes. And they had clipped the bottom of these bushes where it was like a 2 or foot and a half span. Like it was a foot and a half space between it. So when you're skating through the hallway, you can see behind them. You could even see the trunks of the little bushes, like the little stems moving by. So I was trying to get him and the ledges in there. And then when he finally broke free from the ledges was when visually he breaks free from those bushes. So now you get to see him come out and you can see him do his last trick.
Right.
But by that point, I wasn't tucked in right. I was in a weird position. So I didn't get it as clean as I wanted to. And to me, I was like, no, and I didn't want to go and tell him to do it again.
Right.
I just for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Just whatever. The
I
shot
didn't
didn't
even-
come out exactly the way I wanted it.
I didn't even notice that.
I
I'll have to go
wouldn't-
back and look at that again.
Yeah, when you
Yeah.
watch it, it's smooth until the very end. Because at the very beginning, I was tucked in right.
were
But
tucked
then
in.
Towards the end, I had to spin my body around to follow him to get him there, and that's when my
Your
elbow moved out.
You ever have a problem with floating elbow, Raj?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time.
It's okay, Sock. Still a good video.
Sorry.
Still a
Yeah.
good part.
Yes,
Still a
hell
good
yes.
trick. Listen, bro. Can we give you some 9 Club stuff to take home with you, bro? Coffee mug, shirts, sweaters. Switch to the Manny mug?
What's that one?
That's right.
Oh, you don't have any more, huh?
Oh, we got
Oh, we
some.
did.
Okay, cool.
Trust me, we got
Actually, there's one left.
we got a whole room full of them.
Dead stock.
What's up? Come on, Raj. This flies off the shelf. What size
Sells
do you
itself.
wear?
Large.
Large?
Yeah.
Kelly, we go grab him some large
I would love to.
9 Club stuff for old Sock here, bro.
This is my brother's hip hop group, Numerous.
Oh, nice.
That's your brother had a lot of involvement with music for a lot of the skate videos, didn't he?
Yeah, he did the whole hip hop track to the blind section of round 2.
Yeah.
Like the whole like scratching, and he DJ'd
Oh,
that
wow.
whole thing. Yeah, I spit out a video of the part already finished, and he would just watch it on a VHS. He had like a little like TV that had a VHS built in right by his like right by his turntables.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he would set that up by his turntables and just pop it in and watch it and and then this song ends and he knows when one part ends, so he like goes throw in the next song for the next guy and then
So he was basically scoring the video.
yeah, he did that while
Wow.
scratching and doing all that stuff. Like, and if you notice, some of them had scratching and some of them didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it was by design. That's the way he wanted it. He'll leave one track just go, and then on the next one he'd come in with a
Switch it up
scratch.
a little
And
bit.
during the part, you could hear him going like,
Okay.
yeah, that's my brother, DJ Mino.
No way.
Yeah.
DJ
And
Mino.
this is his group called Numerous.
I had a
That's why
board
I wanted
graphic
to-
similar to that.
Really?
Yeah.
It's it's just like a ski mask, and it's just
Chris Roberts.
Chris Robbers.
robbers.
Yeah. Johannes Gamble. took a photo of me and drew a ski mask on my head. It's amazing. One of my favorite
That's a
board
great board.
graphics. Yeah, Chris Robbers.
I used to call you Chris Robert.
Chris, I think a lot of people. I think Retta also.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just messing around because in like French, but you know with the S it doesn't work.
At least you didn't call me T-Dog. Oh, thank you, Kelly, bro.
Sick, dude. Thanks.
Look at this. First of all, sock. Pleasure. Thank you
Thanks,
so
man.
much
Thanks,
for
guys.
coming
Oh,
by.
yeah, dude.
Dude,
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, Sock.
and stories were incredible, man. I was saying, I wish these are the episodes that I want to have 500,000 views, Raj, because who the hell out there knows why
Why the video is away?
Tim and Henry's
Well, those 500 will no.
why Tim and Henry's will keeps playing at the end. You know, there's little tidbits on videos that we all grew up with that we have no idea, and you just answered a lot of it.
And those things that you did shaped the way the skateboarding culture is now, which is that's amazing, to be honest. So thank you for that.
I'm just saying, man, 500,000. I wish, like, you know, it's you, Tim Dowling. I mean, all these people that had a huge. Anyway, I'm getting too far. This is. Listen, here's the stickers for your.
Thanks. I'll give some to the kids
And your.
My kids skate.
And DJ Mino.
and my brother. Yeah, I'll give
DJ Mino?
Yeah, DJ Mino.
Yeah, have him on his turntables.
Yeah, dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah. Here's a
Thank you.
Switch Flip Manny mug.
Nice. Yes. Yeah, I love coffee.
There you
Coffee,
go.
yeah. It's great coffee. Look, we have New Era 9 Club hats. Are you a hat guy?
No, but you know
you
what?
are now. Here you go.
Your kids?
I didn't have one. That's why.
They're perfect, bro.
Not since like my Menace hat.
Yo, sick.
I love. Saw it goes from Menace to the 9 Club
Yeah.
hat. It's perfect, bro.
Hard.
Here's a 9 Club shirt for you, bro. Look
you.
at that, man.
Sick.
Look at that.
Dude, I love this.
It's a good one, huh?
Yeah, I like the style of it all.
Yeah, I was the art director on
Sick.
that.
And that
Here's
too.
a all available on the 9club.com, by the way. You know,
I know you said you liked wearing black when you were a kid, so I just like, I'm gonna
I
get them
still
all.
do.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Except today I'm wearing gray. Black or gray.
Okay.
black or gray.
Just not bright colors.
Go get him a royal blue. Here's a crew neck sweater for you.
Oh, yeah, it's going to get cool.
And also, too, this is one of my favorites. I love it so much. Our 9 Club embroidered hoodies. There you go. Size
The
large
hoodies
for
came
you.
out super good, man.
Hoodies are great.
They're comfy.
Sean Evans was on.
Sean Evans, yeah. He loves them, man. Bought them from our website, full price. Thank you, Sock. This is incredible, bro.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to say one more thing.
Please.
Because it just hit me.
Yeah.
After when he was talking about the influence and how like people got influenced. I always thought it was really sick and amazing how people would watch the videos that I would be involved in
Mm-hmm.
and literally think that everything was done first try or something, because then they'd go off and practice everything they saw and it had to be done first try.
Yeah.
So now these new crop of kids would show up and we'd be, how the hell did it? Because they watched the videos and literally thought that's just how we skated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't know we tried something for 30 or 40 minutes or even an hour or two.
Right.
They didn't know how long it took to
For
land
sure.
any of this. Days even sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so people don't know this. You don't write that in there, and kids are 12. They don't know. They just watch and go, that's how you skate.
These guys are good.
This is, I want to skate like that, and so I have to go out there, and they're bailing and go, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the switch hard flip first try. What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
So
it's-
that's why you get this crop of new dudes that are just so consistent, because that's just what they thought.
Yeah.
Sure.
They thought, this is how it's done, and that's what I have to do. And now you're watching these kids murder everything.
They thought that Daewon was going through and doing a 9-trick line first try.
Well, there were exceptions.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There were definitely exceptions where people would just,
Yeah.
like, I'm not even ready yet. Did I even film that?
Seriously.
Yeah, first tries. Man. Oh, I got stories.
Wait,
for days
what
about,
was-
like Guy Mariano's switch tray?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Down the double set. In Okay.
What happened?
Give us a background.
It's cool because
there's-
you could take away a lot of the crap earlier that I said just to put this one in, because this one's a bad one.
So there's a double set near LAX.
Yes.
Imperial double set. Very popular back in the day. 2 flat 2 or 3 flat 3?
I think it was a 3-flat.
Yeah, 3 flat
Okay,
three.
everybody skates it. Now, what's the story with Guy Mariano?
Okay, so
Switch traying it.
it had been years already that Girl and Chocolate were already broken apart. I mean,
Started.
it had been years since the guys had already broken off and done their thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right? But I still, those guys all still hung out with me. We all still went out and filmed. And so, he just knew that I could just film it. Like sometimes I'd film some of the chocolate dudes. Like I said, I got footage and good on chocolate videos.
Yeah.
So he comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Sock," he's like, "Could you?" I think he called me. I don't know, but he just goes, "Sock, could you come and film me at the double set?" Like I already went there and thought I got it, but it was missed. And if I can remember correctly, he said something about missing it twice.
Okay.
Whoa.
I might be wrong, but I think he said something about like he had already, and this time he's going to go back and do it and he wants to get it for sure. And he trusted me. He's like, I think he looked at me like, okay, you're the dude that's going to be able to get this and you're not going to fuck up.
Sure.
So anyways, I go, yeah, man, I'm so down. I'm always down to go back and film with the homies, because he's the dude that I used to film with a lot back in 92, 93.
Right.
And then now, like years later, I'm like, I'm down to go film with Guy again. He's a super cool dude. So I go back out there and I'm filming just whatever, the whole motions of like bail.
He's trying to switch tray.
Right. He's trying to switch tray. And so he's coming from way over there and I could hear him coming when he gets on his board. I'm like, all right, cool, time to turn it on. So on one of them, I go to turn it on and the camera's off. I'm looking down and like, oh shit, the camera's off. And I'm like, and I know these cameras take a while to start up, and like if I turn it on and I hit record, it's probably gonna catch him halfway. So I don't want to do that and burn it. And this guy, I'm panicking because this is the third. You know what I mean? In my head, I don't know, maybe it was the second, but I'm thinking it was the third.
He could land it right here,
and he could land it right now. And so I'm just like, tell Guy the camera's off. And they're like, what? Like the camera's not on. Something's wrong with the camera. I don't know. The battery might be out, but the camera's not on. And then we're all like, Guy, don't go. And he's coming because he was coming from the opposite side to get all the speed.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's going and still going. And they're like, Guy, stop. Dudes were practically in the middle of the double set going, no, don't go. And I think Gavin was there, Schnur, like, I don't know.
Okay.
Like, it was the same crew. It was the
Right.
usual crew. And they're like, Guy, don't go. He's not filming. We were loud. He heard us. I know he heard us. I even waved the camera in the air. I was like, the camera's not.
Sock's throwing his camera across the
Dude, I should have just, no. So I'm like, we're all like, don't go. He's not even filming it. And he just goes, pops it, catches it, lands it like if he is goofy footed.
Like perfect.
Rolls away. And I'm just like. And it killed me more than if it would have been his first one. And, oh, dude, sorry, let's try it again. But just the
Right.
fact that he came to me saying, you're going to get this.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
What did he say after he landed it?
He rode off, popped off his board, and started going to the car. And then I just like was looking at trying to fix, it turned back on. I don't know what I did. I must have bumped the battery off a little bit for a second. And when you bump the battery off, it turns it off. But when you put it back on, it's supposed to turn back on, right?
Yeah.
So then I fiddled with it, whatever, fidgeted, what do you, the word
Yeah.
is?
You fiddle with it, yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm trying to fidget with it, and all of a sudden, like, and it turned back on. I was like, it's on. I don't know what happened. It works, so we can go. He's like, oh, no, it's okay. It wasn't meant to be. He just throws his board. He's like, don't worry about it, Sock. But I knew the way he said, don't worry about it, was like,
I'll come back with someone else.
I think he wasn't going to do it
I think
again.
he was over it.
He just didn't go back. I don't think he ever went back and filmed it again or tried. I don't think so. Huh. Because then there would have been a new story about the fourth try that he didn't get. About the fourth time that didn't get. Because, if he would have went a fourth time and he got it, that would have been documented.
Do you let those things get to you?
It got to me. It still does.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it was crazy because when I was growing up skating, when I was like 15 or 6 or whatever, like 18, I heard about that. And I'm like living in Laguna. It was like this story
Urban
you had
legend,
heard.
yeah.
Yeah, urban legend that guy switch trade the Imperial double set. And you're like, yeah, right, dude. That never happened. Never saw the footage.
Yeah.
But that's real.
Yeah.
That really happened.
Yeah, I saw it in front of my face. Except unlike all the other times that I saw amazing stuff in front of my face, I didn't get to show it to everybody else when I played it back because I didn't record it. But that was what a filmer does. A filmer gets to see a lot of stuff for the very first time.
Yep.
Very first time any of these people watch it on their tape, the footage they're watching, like the NBDs and all that, we're the ones that get to see it right then when it happens. As we're filming it, going, whoa. And now it's on the tape later on. Someone else is going to watch it. But
That's
we
right.
get to be there when it happens. And when you love skateboarding that much and you get to see the first time a trick has ever been done, yeah, that's just, I don't know, it's a feeling.
It's
an
was
awesome
he,
feeling.
What was he filming for at that point? Was it for Mouse or was it after that?
I don't remember the exact date or year. Somebody else might be able to tell you. It was for a girl video.
It
It's
might
one
have
of those videos.
been.
It's probably my mouse.
Probably.
Probably
yeah.
mouse.
It had to be 94, 95. It couldn't have been any other time because 94 was, I think, the year that Chocolate started.
Mm-hmm.
And 93 is when they started Girl.
Yep.
So then it definitely wasn't right after they started Girl. It was a little bit later. And I
It was
think
at 96 is when Mouse came out.
So then it was probably for Mouse.
Yeah.
Because it couldn't have been any later than that.
I think he was filming it for my part in Hot Chocolate. I think he wanted a cameo.
Best part.
But that was,
That was devastating.
yeah, man.
If you talked about it with Guy today, he'd laugh about it.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of good tricks.
Yeah. Yeah. That wasn't his end all be all.
No.
Okay. I feel better now. But no, I mean, I just feel bad because of not so much the trick, it's just so much that he came to me and I burned it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like I was supposed to be the go-to guy that isn't gonna mess it up, and I did.
100%.
And it was weird though. It was weird that it happened that way. It's like really, like every time he goes there to try it, nobody gets it, and we're filming or trying to film it. We're not trying to screw up.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know what happened to the camera. I bumped it on my leg. I don't know what happened. It wasn't on.
It's bizarre.
And he could have just not went. He could have just said, "Oh, he's not filming," stopped. But he knew. He just goes, "I'm gonna do it anyways."
Right.
Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he didn't hear us. But I do remember dudes out there going, "No."
Yeah.
So he definitely saw that.
There's some skaters out there that like they get like
They're so focused, they don't even care.
or actually they do notice that you're saying it and they're like, "Oh, dude, I'm gonna fucking land it right here." They're not filming. I'm gonna land it.
Yeah.
For some reason, I've heard people say that.
That happened to me one time that I had to leave a session at Lockwood early. One of those like I'm talking about that I have to leave early.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, man. One more try. Like, I got to go. I'm running late. Like, no, just one more try. All right, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later. I'm like, dude, I really got to go. I'm running late. He's like, one more try. That was it. The last one. Pack it, leave, jump the fence. Whoa! I look back. He landed.
Did you film Keenan switch flip at Lockwood? You filmed that over the table? Mm-hmm. That's one of the best clips ever filmed and tricks ever done.
Yeah, the one where it's like zoomed in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his last trick in Mouse.
Yeah, and he didn't he backside heel flip that barrier over the Brooklyn banks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on one of the trips to New York, and I filmed that. So I remember filming Keenan a lot.
It's amazing.
And I would film Gabe too. Like,
yeah.
he would always want to film with me, like for his parts.
It's amazing.
Wow. You filmed them all with Paco then?
No, not all of it, but a lot. Like, cause he would hang out with the Menace dudes.
Yeah.
And I was
Lockwood.
always those were the days. Like I said, I was in LA filming with the Menace guys all the time. So he was always there. So I'd film him.
Damn, rest in peace.
Yeah,
Right on.
seriously.
Amazing dudes.
Well, you're amazing, Sock. Thank you so much for coming by.
And we'll say the last goodbye for the fourth time.
No.
Sorry.
Dude, thank you so much, Sock.
man.
You're the man, bro. Have a safe drive back, huh? To Lancaster.